There are many reasons for people not being in possession of national documents. Lindsay Dentlinger reports.
Health Committee Chairperson Simbungeseni Dlomo says he hopes engagements with Operation Dudula activists will quell vigilante action witnessed outside state facilities in recent weeks. He says the country can't withhold emergency medical care no matter who the person is.
An absence of a document into a hospital should not allow you to block any individual.
Dlomo says there are many reasons why citizens may not be in possession of an identification document, such as late birth registration or destroyed documents.
Give a benefit of doubt that you are blocking someone who's a legitimate citizen in this country.
Dlomo has appealed to the Health Department to engage swiftly with the Department of Home Affairs to fast-track a review and repeal of relevant laws that will clarify the rights foreign nationals have to medical care. Lindsay Dentlinger, Eyewitness News, Parliament.
The Gauteng Health Department says it's studying a court judgment ordering immediate radiation oncology services for cancer patients. Advocacy groups Cancer Alliance and Section 27 took the department to court for allegedly violating the constitutional rights of patients to access healthcare. The High Court ruled in favor of the NGOs in the matter, but the ruling has since been suspended pending an appeal process. Thandoluhle Ngcobo reports.
The Johannesburg High Court gave the thumbs up to an application by the Cancer Alliance in Section 27 to have patients provided with oncology services. However, soon after, it was suspended after the Health Department filed leave to appeal the ruling and was successful in their bid. In response, the organizations instituted a counterbid and approached the Gauteng High Court to enforce the ruling pending the appeal process. A backlog list from March 2023 showed that nearly 3,000 cancer patients were awaiting treatment, some for over 3 years, which have resulted in dire consequences. The Gauteng High Court approved the application, citing that a backlog meant patients were being denied treatment at crucial timelines for their health. Gauteng Health spokesperson Motalatala Motiba says the department has acknowledged the judgment and will determine and communicate appropriate course of action once a review is complete. Thandoluhle Ngcobo, Eyewitness News.
Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of interference and corruption in the police will meet again today following delays in adopting its terms of reference. The committee agreed on Monday to adopt the final draft by the end of this week, after members finally agreed on the submissions and additions from the different parties represented in the committee. National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza has also come out in defense of Parliament's legal advisors assigned to the committee following attacks from MPs who questioned their competence to lead the process. Babalondenza reports.
The adoption of the terms of reference have taken longer than expected after MPs made several recommendations and changes to the draft version. The amendments include the scope of the investigation, the protection of whistleblowers, as well as legal representation for witnesses who must appear. Parties also called for an external legal counsel to lead the evidence and not Parliament. But Parliament spokesperson Moloto Mothapo says Speaker Thoko Didiza has full confidence in the legal team.
And their professionalism, competence and integrity have stood the test of constitutional legal scrutiny for many years. While members may not always agree with their opinions, disagreements should never translate into personal attacks on their dignity or credibility.
With the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set to start its work on the 1st of September, the ad hoc committee is expected to begin its own investigation in due course. Babalondense, Eyewitness News.
And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he will give final approval for the takeover of Gaza City, a move that has been condemned in his country and by the international community. Netanyahu has also instructed negotiations with Palestinian militant group Hamas to begin, and this is aimed at returning all remaining captives and ending the nearly 2-year-old war. But he says this must be done in terms acceptable to Israel. Israeli forces have already stepped up attacks and thousands of Palestinians have left their homes. Hamas agreed to a proposal drawn up by Qatari and Egyptian mediators for a 60-day ceasefire for the release of half of the remaining hostages in Gaza. But Netanyahu has not accepted the deal. Israel and Hamas have held on and off in direct negotiations throughout the war, resulting in 2 short truces during which Israeli hostages were released in exchange for Palestinian prisoners. Gold is trading at $3,333.62 an ounce. The rand is at 17.71 to the dollar, 23.76 to the pound, 20.56 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.54 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got some delays on the Mike North between Boysons Road and the Crown interchange. There's also queuing traffic already on the N3 North approaching Fontaine Road.
And in your sport, Proteas captain Themba Bavuma rested for second ODI against Australia at the Great Barrier Reef Stadium. Trevor Manuel to chair the 2027 Cricket World Cup organising board. And Mamelodi Sundowns say they remain committed to players' growth in the wake of Lucas Rabeiro's desire to leave.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng, Johannesburg, starting at 11 degrees, peaking at 28. Pretoria, 11 and 29. Vereniging, 6 and 27. The top story in EWN this hour, Parliament's Health Committee Chairperson Bongani has cautioned Operation Dudula against blocking suspected foreign nationals from entering public health facilities.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards at 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Seven minutes after 6 o'clock. Good morning, 702 Landers. My name is Bongani Bingwa. Where are you listening to us this morning? How was your week? Are you feeling relaxed? Have you taken in that deep breath? You're now coming up for air from that scrum because it's that final push. You can see the clock ticking. 10, 9, 8, because it's a Friday this morning. You're in Melville, you're in Merton, are you in Wattville, or there's Wattville and there's Wadeville, right? Which one are you in? There's Isando or Irene. There's Beckersdal. Or on the other side of the world, in Brakpan. Wherever you are, we are the station that aims to reach you. Welcome one, welcome all. I'm not alone. As always, I've got an entire team of colleagues with me. Fantastic colleagues. They're so much fun. I know you know they're clever, but they're so much fun. Good morning, Amo.
Good morning, Bongs. Morning, 702 Landers. Looking slick for a Friday.
Oh, I just threw some rags together, really. Found an old suit as I fixed my collar. This old thing. Hey, Muteo, good morning. Muteo Kharipe.
We didn't pay you to say all of the things you said about us. I just
no,
need
you
that
don't.
disclaimer.
You don't. Yeah, just threw an old rag. If you want to see our rags, check us out on our YouTube channel.
We're live
streaming.
You're wearing a suit. If they want to see our
Bona.
rags.
You know the ones that were made for you.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
All right, let me tell you what's on our menu this morning. We start our political desk. Tsidi Madia still on leave, and so we're bringing a political player on the stage. The leader of Rise Mzansi, Zibi, says it's time for Angie Motshekga to go. He says she's wholly unsuitable to be the Minister of Defence, not least, of course, because she has come out in defence of the army chief after those incredibly obtuse remarks he made in Iran. The presidency has tried to dodge the bullet by saying, well, you know, the president neither knew nor sanctioned the trip. Of course he wouldn't. You know, the army chief doesn't apply to the president for leave. That's all handled by the Defence Ministry, as we heard from Vincent Magwenya. But now that it has happened, what now? Amid fraught tensions with the US, a key adversary of Iran, this general goes and says these inflammatory things. Why is he still there? Why is Angie defending her? Why is she still there? Those are the questions Songezo Zibi wants to know, and he'll explain to us when he joins us in the first hour of the show. Do you know what Fontaine is? It's east of Pretoria. It's an informal settlement. What makes it unique is that it is mostly, in fact, almost entirely, a white Afrikaner informal settlement. Guys, just think this. Let's think this through. Ne? Are you hearing me? Ne? Worry. Even at an informal settlement,
I'm listening.
Your skin tone's not welcome. Go informal settlement. Come zinking da.
No.
You are too black. Yeah.
I don't believe
It's
that.
in east of Pretoria. The city of Tshwane wants to demolish it. I want to know why it's there in the first place. How did it get there in the first place? How is an informal settlement a racist area? Are you with me? Fontaine, east of Tshwane. Our big interview is with the City of Tshwane's Human Settlements MMC, who's going to explain to us what it is they want to do to Fontaine, why Fontaine has been there all along, and is it really true that if you're black, you can't live there in an informal settlement? You got to give it to the racists, hey? They remain undefeated. Go informal settlement. Let me tell you, how do I discriminate you? Against you, rather. At an informal settlement, but welcome to life in South Africa. We speak to our G20 correspondents desk reporter, Nokukanya Mtambo, who's going to be in studio with us, telling us about the latest developments to set up the G20 summit later on in the year. And then Father and I, fantastic play, returns to the Market Theatre.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9
But
a.m.
of course, I know everybody's waiting. Everybody's waiting for one thing and one thing only. Because it is a Friday, clear your voices, have a sip of water, gargle, 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 and here we go. A one, 2, 3.
It's a Friday. It's a Friday. It's a Friday.
Welcome one, welcome all.
Let's walk the talk.
7:02.
13 after 6. So here's today's shout out. Amo Muteo, what do you still insist on doing the hard way? Despite all the new conveniences that are available to you now, the technologies and such, what is that one thing you're doing it the way your grandma would have done? Despite all the available technologies and improvements and the things that make our lives a lot easier, what's that one thing you insist should only be done the old school way? Amo?
It's arbouring the baby for me. You know, there's these new ways in which you can...
The baby arbor things.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. But I'd just rather use the towel or a small blankie.
Why?
To arbor the baby. It's more comfortable, it's convenient, it's quick, it's on the go.
Did you ask the baby?
Huh?
Did you ask the baby?
Of course not.
Listen, I remember being a dad of young children, and the arbor thing was it was foolproof. Because you could tie it, you knew this baby's not going to fall out. Muteo, have you ever tried?
Yeah, no, I prefer the products that we have now because the towel and blankie is a bit risky for me. Firstly, because I can't do it. But every
Jonga,
time,
even how they tie it, right? Remember they used to have those big safety pins?
Yes.
And hold it with
yes,
and I'm just like, how do they do that? Right?
I didn't want to try. My biggest fear was the baby falling. So I was like, okay, bring the product.
I'm with you, dude. I'm with you. I'm like, give me the thing. I'm going to Baby City. I'm buying the latest thing. I'm going to make sure the baby is as tightly wrapped as possible because it is not falling from me, right? If the baby falls, it will not be from me. I used to, when I saw them the other day, I was trying to clean out my study, my home office. I've got boxes and boxes of notebooks. When I first came to 702, when I first came back, I should rather say, it's almost 8 years ago, hey? In fact, it is 8 years ago. When I was doing Afternoon Drive, I used to write the show on notebooks because that's what I used to do on
Pen
Carte
and paper,
Blanche.
original, yeah.
Yeah, because on Carte Blanche when I would do interviews, I'd have a little notebook and I'd write questions and I'd ask whoever I was interviewing, and I kept the same practice. So I've got boxes and boxes and boxes of notebooks that I, used to use until I was forced to use computers and, all these things, because now everybody has to have sight of what I say on the radio before I say it. Munteo? No, after I say it, Shay.
For me, I like knives and stuff. So I still like cutting through vegetables. I know there's McCain. I know there's all sorts of contraptions that help you do the prep, but I still like the prep before the cooking.
Japanese knives?
Oh, well, I don't have that much money, Bongani.
It's 16 after 6.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
We've been talking about this for months now, but I think it's beginning to gain traction from at least the authorities. We've heard from the Health Minister and now the Health Committee Chairperson in Parliament, Dr. Bongani has cautioned Operation Dudula against blocking foreign nationals from entering public health facilities. And he's saying this could deny legitimate citizens from receiving care. But, even with raising the concern, it's still the softly approach. It is not that people are doing something that is illegal. They're taking the law into their own hands and being vigilantes.
Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Munteo, you've got a question of your own?
Yeah, I want to know this morning, when you go to your favorite sit-down restaurant, the place that you go when you want to be happy, and you go for a certain special that they always do well, and you get there and they tell you the special is not on the menu today, they can't make it for you. Do you sulk? Or do you allow them to upsell you on an alternative?
No, I sulk and never come back.
You'll come back when they have it.
Yeah. But so there's two things stand out immediately in my head. Mug and Bean, the one in Norwood, used to do this chicken crumble thing with blue cheese. It's no longer on the menu. But what they've been nice about is that when I do order it, they still wink, will do it for me. But I tell you, the day they stop, oof.
For me, it's the sandwiches at Doppio Zero. So if you go to, for instance, Mall of the South, Doppio Zero, they make it so beautiful. Oh, it is amazing. And then I go to another Doppio Zero and they don't make it the same way. And then they will okay, maybe try something else on the menu. No, I just want the sandwich the way they make it.
No, from Mall of the South.
Such difficult customers. I'll tell you why I'm asking.
702.
Weather.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. Temperatures in Joburg 8 to 28, Pretoria 10 and 29, Vereeniging 5 and 27, Bombela peaks at 30 degrees, Bloemfontein 23, Durban peaks at 22, Gqeberha and East London 20 and 22 respectively, and of course Cape Town is 16 degrees.
Good morning, Bongani Bingwa. My name is Lwandle and I'm 6 years old and I'm grade 1. And it's a Friday, it's a Friday. Yay!
Good morning, Uncle Bongani and team. It's Friday.
2, 3, 4. It's a Friday. It's a Friday. It's a Friday.
I love it. 19 after 6. This Eyewitness News Traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo, what are your fancy maps showing you?
Well, delays on the Mike-1 North between Boysons and the Crown interchange. There's also some delays already along the N1 North between Malibongo Drive and Winnie Mandela Drive towards Fourways. Speaking of which, traffic lights still out of order at Winnie Mandela Drive and Leslie, bound to cause delays. Please be on the lookout there. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app. The Outsurance pointsmen know that every car on the road carries a story. Like the eager beaver driving to meet the woman of his dreams. Butterflies in his stomach, GPS on full volume. He checks his hair for the 7th time. Looking good. The Outsurance pointsmen know it's not just a car in traffic. It's a possible love story on the move. Every story is different and every story matters. That's why the Outsurance pointsmen have been doing what they do since 2005 in proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
702 delivers
on the matters that matter to you.
I'm Deirdre from Oakden. I've probably been listening to 702 for about 40 years. I listen most of the day, and I really can't imagine my life or my day without 702. I'm kept up to date with all the news, and I must say that I personally believe I hear the news before anybody else. When I hear it on 702, nobody else has heard it yet. And I'd just like to say, keep up the good work.
Thank you for sharing your thoughts.
So we can deliver more on what matters to you.
702 listens.
Let's walk the talk.
When you empower a woman, you empower a whole nation. Women have a remarkable way of multiplying whatever is placed in their hands. This August, we're celebrating Women's Month with the theme Building Resilient Economies for All. We reflect and honor the courageous women of 1956 who took a stand against the injustices of the past. We also recognize and celebrate all South African women who continue to lead, build, and inspire across every part of our society, from business and education to peace building and beyond. Yes, there is still much to be done. The pursuit to achieving total gender equality and empowerment will continue until every woman is able to enjoy the benefits of a safe and just society. #Rekaufela Basadi. #Women's Month 2025. A message by the National Department of Sport, Arts and Culture.
The Festival of Motoring, powered by Westbank, brings the spirit of Ubuntu to the Kyalami Grand Prix circuit from the 29th to the 31st of August. Experience thrilling track drives, 4x4 adventures, drifting, supercar hot laps, and F1 demos. Get your tickets on Howler and use the promo code RADIO for a special discount. The Festival of Motoring, the power of new.
The team's on a roll today. Let me focus on payroll. Duty calls in the kitchen. That's why I have a business insurer that is agile and on the ball all the time on all things. I chose My Way Business Insurance, getting 24/7 emergency service and saving on my premiums, plus my business assist to handle my admin.
Visit myway.co.za or dial 0860 64 64 64 and get a quote today. My Way is a licensed non-life insurer and FSP. T's, C's and standard rates apply. My Way. Live your way.
702.
Add your voice.
Have your say.
Let's walk the talk.
Bona komadlangi bingwa babingwa komadlangi ko Tin Park kaspedi wa re ko shushumela Fosterland, oh they wanna call it Fosterland. Madlangi Squala, even there you'll still be seen as someone with inferior skin tone. How sad, Mzansi. Simon Centurion.
Hi, Bongani. Yeah, I know Fontaine. I was there, I think 2 months ago. Yeah, I couldn't go in. I went there to meet someone. So, yeah, I couldn't go in. I had to stop there by the boom gate. South Africa. Do we even have a president, Mara? Like, really?
It has a boom gate. I know. Is this the very mark of informal settlement? Wait, there's more. It's a gated community. Gated community.
Start your day with Bongani Bingwa
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
All right. Looking at some of your messages coming through the YouTube feed, somebody asked me to pull my left sock. Apparently, it was a bit down. This is Eldrich Vaz. Monks, you look slick for a Friday. Please pull up your left sock. So I've pulled it up, Eldrich. You'll be pleased to know. Bernard is listening to us from Orange Farm and wishes us to have a great show. David Lightom, happy Friday from Toronto, Canada. It's past midnight in Toronto, but he's listening to us. Wherever you are, shout out to you.
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
702 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
All right, 24 after 6, what you need to know at this hour. This morning, the Ahmed Kathrada Foundation will be hosting a symposium in honor of slain whistleblower Babita Deokaran. The event at the Mankosa campus in Auckland Park will carry a pointed theme, corruption in Gauteng Health. Can it be stopped? There'll be reflections on Deokaran's sacrifice. You remember we spoke to her brother just yesterday, and debates about how to protect lives and restore the integrity of the province's health system. Kenya's impeached former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua, is back from a political tour in the US, and his return ended in chaos. Hundreds of supporters swarmed Nairobi's Jomo Kenyatta airport yesterday, police firing tear gas, gates blocked, his convoy pelted with stones. Authorities have already warned his arrival could spark some trouble. He was once President William Ruto's ally, but turned fierce critic, and is now positioning himself for the 2027 presidential run. German prosecutors say a Ukrainian man who's been arrested in Italy over the 2022 Nord Stream pipeline blasts is being suspected of being part of a team that planted explosives from Russia to Germany, damaging 3 of the 4 lines. Adam Gilchrist will have more on that in the World View. The Constitutional Court reserving judgment in the Rand rigging case, and at the heart of it, 28 local and international banks are accused of colluding with each other between 2007 and 2013 to fix the Rand-dollar exchange rate. They, of course, deny it. We'll see what the Apex Court has to say. And on this day in 1865, here's a name you might remember, William Shepard of New York was granted a patent for his improved liquid soap. He made it by dissolving solid soap in water and adding ammonia until it thickened. Though his invention was mainly used in public spaces, it didn't reach most homes for at least a century. And that changed in the 1970s when a new soap, Creme Soap on Tap, was sold. And by the 1980s, they introduced mass market versions in pump dispensers. Soft soap and liquid soap as we know it today was born. So I'm asking you, are you one of those who still sticks with old school, the hard way of doing things, if you will? From liquid soap pumps to Uber. You know, there's even those that have that battery thing, right? So it's got a sensor. You put a battery in the back of it. It's a soap dispenser with a sensor so that everybody who uses it doesn't have to touch it, right? You see where I'm going with this? If you're a germaphobe, it makes sense. You just put your hand towards the sensor and the dispenser guzzles out the soap, and you wash your hands, and you didn't touch anything anybody else touched with their dirty hands. Yeah.
702.
The newspapers.
Just that image, Susa Zulu, in my head. Good morning.
Good morning, Bongani.
Did you wash your hands before you touch those newspapers?
Oh, somebody's happy this Friday. The Wall Street Journal in international news, its front page says Israel to call up 60,000 reservists for Gaza move. This is the move by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to move into Gaza City and take over the city as many Palestinians are removed from there. That's the front page of the Wall Street Journal. And the Washington Post is going with a story about how restaurants in Washington, D.C. suffer amid federal crackdown. And this is a story about President Donald Trump announcing his takeover from D.C. police force last week. Restaurant reservations have dropped in the city by as much as 31%.
Oh, the federal crackdown?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
Which is the police there, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. I thought I heard something else. All right, the Mail and Guardian's front page, toxic legacy of asbestos. Remnants remain a health hazard is their front page. Sowetan, Usindiso fire from tragedy to terror. They're speaking to somebody who was shot in the stomach even as that was unfolding. Business Day, AIDS drug tender shuns key local manufacturers, and the Citizen wants to know, why are our kids so angry?
EWN Business.
All right, 29 after 6, Mateo wants to know, do we sulk when you sit at your favorite restaurant and they don't have your favorite meal? I always go to the grill house at Melrose and I want my steak salad. I want nothing else. I go there, I know exactly what I want. Don't give me anything else. And when it's not there...
Are you walking out?
It's never not been there.
So you
they
never
know
had
better.
to think about that.
They know better. What prompts the question?
Bongani Spur Corporation CEO Val Niches has had a lot of sleepless nights over the past year. While the business might be doing well and they're opening more restaurants, but it's scrambling to make sure its biggest selling point, its steaks, are available. Now, since the foot and mouth disease outbreak this year. Spur says beef prices have gone up by some 25% and made it harder to acquire on the market. The eatery business says one of its main suppliers have been affected by the outbreak. Spur Steak Ranches sources its beef through its subsidiary Bravis Fine Foods, a meat processing facility in Johannesburg, which Spur acquired for 30% stake in 2014. Now, the company has now invested an extra 1.5 million rand to secure steak fillets for its outlets, but it's also saying it's upselling other options like fish and chicken on its restaurant menus. Spur Corporation reported higher earnings and sharply increased dividend for the year to end June. Headline earnings, which are profit measures in South Africa, were up 16.5% at 275 million rand, with revenue growing 11.2% to 3.8 billion rand rather. So they're trying to do all their best to make sure that your steak is there when you order it.
I mean, we love the Spur salad bar. It's fantastic. It really is. That's not why we go to Spur.
But you're there for the steak.
Although when I was a student, you could buy a spud, right? Which
Yeah.
is their baked potato
Yeah.
with onion rings, and you'd hoy 1,000 Islands sauce all over it. And it was like, I think, $15 or
And
something
you'll be
like that.
sorted.
As a student, sweetie, you were done. You were done. You could go hang with your mates at Spur.
But now you just want steak.
No, I want a little bit more than the salad bar. Was the rand?
17 Rand 72 against the US dollar, 20 Rand 54 cents against the euro, and 23 Rand 75 cents against the British pound. Price of gold also lower this morning, $3,331 an ounce, while platinum is seeing some weakness as well at $1,342. Brent crude lower at $67.51 a barrel. More business after 7.
All right, let's go straight to the capital. Sfiso Zulu will be looking at Tshwane a little later on, but what do you have?
Well, Bongani, the mayor, Nasipi Moya, believes the city's governing coalition remains steady as her administration comes together to get potential funders. Moya's assurance to investors comes ahead of the city's inaugural investment summit set to take place next month. Tshwane is eyeing 5 billion rand worth of new deals, investments and partnership agreements before the end of the year. Some of the city's massive but underperforming assets will be leveraged in the investment drive, and they include the Wonderboom Airport, the Fresh Produce Market and the Rooiwal Power Stations. Despite concerns of renewed tensions between the ANC and Action SA over the Tshwane City, manager Johan Metler says Moya has her house in order.
The residents of the city have been abused for past 8 years. We can't contribute to that. So the stability, we have provided that stability for the past 8 months. We have not had issues in this coalition. And so in terms of the stability of the coalition, I don't think that's something that the residents or the business should worry about until the elections. The second part, I can't guarantee that.
In Cape Town, Council Speaker Felicity Purchase has welcomed the rejection of a motion of no confidence against her. The motion was brought by the Good Party, supported by the ANC and Africa Restoration Alliance yesterday. Purchase is accused of failing to maintain order when a security guard choked EFF councillor Mzubani Dambuza in council chambers last month. The parties were also not happy that Purchase scheduled a council sitting virtually yesterday. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
City of Cape Town Council Speaker Felicity Purchase says the allegations contained in the motion were baseless. The Speaker says the motion failed because it lacked substance and was driven by narrow political interest rather than facts. DA Councillor Mzwakhe Nqavashe agrees.
Here we are witnessing a political witch hunt. A witch hunt is not an inquiry. It is a predetermined verdict looking for evidence to justify itself. It is a strategy used when facts are weak but political motives are strong.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News in Cape Town.
And the Niger army says it has killed the Boko Haram leader in the Lake Chad Basin, where the country borders Nigeria, Chad and Cameroon. Niger says Bakura was killed during a surgical operation last week. He led a splinter group loyal to former Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau and moved to the islands on the Niger side of the lake with his fighters. Bakura joined Boko Haram more than 13 years ago and took over leadership of the group after Shekau's death in 2021. Boko Haram's insurgency against the government to establish its own caliphate in 2009 and has left 40,000 people dead and forced more than 2 million to flee their homes. The conflict has also spilled across Nigeria's borders, with Niger suffering its first attacks by the group in 2015. A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 23 and 29 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got heavy delays along the N17 West between Carnival City and Roundabout Road. This is due to roadworks taking place along this route between these 2 points. So please be on the lookout there and try to avoid. You can still use the N12 West going into areas like Bedford View. While traveling towards Bedford View, we've got delays on the N3 North between the Yellands Interchange and Van Buren Road.
The top story this hour, Tshwane Mayor Nasipi Moya believes the city's governing coalition remains steady as her administration comes together to get potential investment.
Luck could be on your side when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 69 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 26 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 43 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120 *7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old and play responsibly. eTuba is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
Do you know what's hiding behind the colorful packaging of unhealthy food? Big food companies target children with unhealthy packaged foods that hide high levels of sugar, salt, and fat, which could lead to heart disease, diabetes, and hypertension. But the truth is hidden from consumers. Front of package warning labels are a proven solution to help consumers make informed decisions. The government must act now. We have the right to know what's in our food. Demand front of package warning labels. Sign the petition on heala.org, HEALA.org, by the 30th of September.
For those 2 a.m. checkouts or the late night shifts, for the last minute orders and the beginning of the month rush, for the 9 to 5 that becomes a 5 to 9. You don't clock out, and neither should your payments. Pay fast by network, always open for the dreamers, the doers, for you. From e-commerce to in-store payments and business funding, we have you covered. Sign up today at payfast.io.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Yo, Bongani, for me it is voice notes. I absolutely hate voice notes on WhatsApp. If you do not have the time or you cannot put in the effort to text me, I do not have to communicate with you. Absolutely not. Have a great Friday from Rustenburg.
Good morning, Bongani and team. It's Patrick here from Kempton Park. The one thing that I still do the hard way is with all the technology in vehicles these days, while driving, I still turn my head to my shoulder to check my blind spot. You know, vehicles these days, they've got the blind spot monitors and all that, but I still do my blind spot the old way. Thanks, guys. Great show. Have a nice day. Friday.
Yeah, I can still hear my driving instructor, who was an Afrikaans man, who taught me how to drive. And the 5-point check, I can still hear, what was it? Mirror, mirror, blind spot? Mirror, see, I'm turning my head, that's why I'm going off mic. And there will be mirror, 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 blind spot. Right, I can still do the 5-point check. I can hear him in my head. I'm trying to get used to voice notes. The thing is, I often play music on my little Bluetooth speaker at home. And if you're going to send me voice notes, it means everyone is going to hear. You see what I mean? That's my little issue with voice notes. We're asking you, what do you still insist on doing the hard way despite all the modern conveniences and technologies?
Good morning, Bongani and the team. Bongani, when you don't disappoint. That's why I always listen to 702 in the morning. Squatter camp, racist squatter camp. They are not even supposed to be there in the first place. It's illegal to be there. And then they want to legalize it themselves and say, you cannot come here. Who the hell do they think they are? Hi, this morning you killed me. Uzenenye. DK from Cosmo City. Good Lord.
Gated community DK. That's the thing I can't get. There's a boom. There's a boom gate.
EWN Sport.
South Africa doesn't disappoint. Anthony Teixeira, listen, what's that one thing you still insist on doing the hard way? Or let me say the old way, despite modern conveniences and technologies?
Mine is getting lost. I refuse to take directions or put on a GPS. If I have an idea of where I'm going, I will just 100% go without any directions. Any lady speaking to me, because she often gets it wrong anyway. I just go by myself, one man, and I don't stop and ask for directions. I'll get there eventually. Yep.
I don't know what to say to that.
Yeah.
You
Most
seem
people
defeated.
don't.
10-0. 10-0. I hope the Proteas are as good at demolishing the Aussies as you've just done to me.
Well, it hasn't started well, should we say. This is, of course, the second ODI
of the Aussies doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
In this case, I'm the Proteas, you're the Aussies.
100%. Because what we've seen from that second ODI between the pair is Aiden Markram out for a duck. And right now, Rian Rickleton is on 2. Tony DeZorzi yet to get off the mark in the third over. 2 for the loss of 1. This is after they won the toss and elected to have a bat first. Fresh off his half century in the opener, Temba Bavuma has been rested as he continues to recover from that hamstring injury, with Aiden Markram now captaining in his absence. Away from the Cricket Oval, CSA announced the 2027 Men's Cricket World Cup Local Organising Committee Board will be chaired by former South African Finance Minister Trevor Noah. Sports, Arts and Culture Minister Gates McKenzie.
To Emmanuel.
Did I say Noah?
I said no.
Of course I did. Meanwhile, here is Gaten McKenzie.
He tells a joke and then he thinks.
We're going to have the greatest Cricket World Cup. It gives me great joy today to have finally announced. We're very happy. It's going to happen. It's coming. The world is coming to South Africa. What makes this extra special? It's not a South African World Cup. It is a South African, Namibian, and a Zimbabwean one. We're going to show the world that we can get together and give the world the best Cricket World Cup ever.
In football, Mamelodi Sundowns have responded to reports that Lucas Ribeiro is seeking to terminate his contract with the club and has referred the matter to the FIFA Football Tribunal. In a statement, the Brilliants assert they are committed to negotiations to advance the best interests of both the player and the clubs and engage in fair negotiations and discussions. The clubs also confirmed following the conclusion of the FIFA Club World Cup, several inquiries have been made about their players. Former Sundowns midfielder Neil Mayema has officially been announced by Tanzanian club Simba. While having only made his Liverpool Premier League debut last weekend, Jemari Frimpong has set to be out of action until late September and after the international break with a hamstring injury. Meanwhile, the transfer record in the women's game has been broken for a second time in a month. American club Orlando Pride has signed Mexican winger Lisbeth Overly from Tigres in a deal worth £1.1 million. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Are you looking for the best savings on spectacles? At Specsavers, enjoy 1,500 Rand off when you get tested at South Africa's trusted and most established optical group. Get 1,500 Rand off all frames in store, or use your 1,500 Rand off on our leading lens enhancements, such as drive light lenses that reduce artificial glare whilst driving. Book online or call your nearest store today. Affordable eye care, Specsavers. T's and C's apply.
It took patience, perseverance, and audacity to get my first call-up and win with the Bokke. And we did it together. That's why I, Dion Free, partnered with African Bank so I can win big with a 60-month fixed deposit. Patience brings results. Join the bank that backs you. Get a 12.8% return at expiry on your investment. Visit africanbank.co.za or a branch for assistance. African Bank. Audacity to believe. African Bank is a licensed financial services and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
The Brainy Kids of the Whiz Quiz
on 702.
Hello, Uncle Bongani. My name is Kiara Julian. I go to Hurleyvale Primary School, and when I grow up, I want to be a pilot. I'm super excited to play the Whiz Quiz with you today.
Will you fly away with me with 10,000 Rand?
702.
Coming up at 7:15. The Big Interview.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is not just a click. It's a thank you, a nod, a way of saying we see you. Vote for your favorite local business now on primemediaplus.com.
Selling your car shouldn't be a mission. We Buy Cars gets it. Life's short, time's precious. Get an offer online and sell your car within a day from wherever it suits you. It's really that simple with We Buy Cars. Shopping for your new ride, discover thousands of vehicles online or in-store. We Buy Cars, South Africa's trusted way to buy and sell cars.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers. Like Steakhouse Classic Man-Size Rum for 170 Rand per kilo. Fanta Sprite or Stony Soft Drink 2 litres. Any two for 35 Rand. Save 13%. And Monster Energy Drink 500 mils. Any two for 29 Rand. Save 24%. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday. Only at Checkers.
10 years ago, Illuma Capital set out with one goal: to help people like you build a legacy for tomorrow. Through personalized strategies and unwavering dedication, we've been instrumental in helping our clients achieve their financial dreams, whether it's securing retirement, growing wealth, or planning for the unexpected. For a decade, we've been trusted to guide your financial journey with expertise and care. Visit illuma.co.za today. Illuma Capital is a licensed FSP. T's and C's apply.
Franchise your future with the vision to invest, the mindset to follow a proven system, and the drive to grow something of your own. Meet the minds behind smart investments and proven franchise success on Franchise Your Future with Relebogile Mabotja, brought to you by Cash Converters. Plus, you could win 10,000 Rand to kickstart your journey to franchise your future. Hit primemediaplus.com now. It's on Tuesdays at 1 o'clock. Franchise Your Future on Afternoon Drives with Relebogile, brought to you by Cash Converters. Your money, your momentum.
EWN Traffic.
Catch up with traffic news now. Roadworks on the N17 West, Amo.
That's correct, Bongani, causing about a 30-minute hold-up between Carnival City and Rondebolt Road. Please be on the lookout if you're heading towards areas like Germiston as well as Edenville. There's also queuing traffic on the N3 North between the Elands turn off and Van Buren Road due to peak time delays. I'll have more updates for you. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Oh, Shane, do you have a sore throat? The Andalex range of lozenges offers two options. At the first signs of an irritated, scratchy throat, use Andalex lozenges for dual-action soothing relief. But for a painful, inflamed throat, use Andalex C lozenges for triple-action pain relief. Andalex, SA's #1 choice for a sore mouth and throat. Andalex lozenges are available at all leading pharmacies and supermarkets.
Just Andalex it.
Meet Uminatsi Nyaba, a powerhouse storyteller and after-graduate who earned her Bachelor of Arts in Motion Picture cum laude. From a young age, Uminatsi knew that storytelling was her calling, but financial hurdles nearly dimmed her dream. That all changed when she received the Hollywood Foundation's Future is Bright bursary. It lifted a huge weight off her shoulders and gave her the freedom to focus fully on her craft. She began making bold moves and creating incredible work, including her award-winning short film, which was selected for international screenings. Thanks to the Hollywood Foundation, Uminati is ready to tell the stories the world needs to hear. Follow the Hollywood Foundation social pages for more stories of stars on the rise. Sizofunda sonke.
The Money Show.
Weekday evenings at 6.
The Spur Group reporting today, 11.5 billion Rand went through its franchise restaurants in the year to the end of June. And the CEO at Spur is Val Nitchas.
We invested our franchisees' marketing funds heavily in activating experiences at restaurants, looking at shareables, looking at good value-added campaigns, just to offer our consumers good value, especially at a time when they are a bit strapped for cash.
The Money Show
on 702. Let's walk the talk.
The Money Show with Stephen Curtis is brought to you by ABSA CIB, backing the Ideas Fund by advancing capital to African infrastructure investment managers. Your story matters. ABSA is an authorized FSP and registered credit provider.
Who is the whizziest of them all?
It's the Whiz Quiz on 702.
Let's give away some money. Up next, of course, we speak to the leader of Rising Mzansi about matters defense. But in the meantime, Kiara is 13 years old and wants to win 10,000 Rand, don't you, Kiara?
Yes.
Yes, is the confident answer. Let's get straight to it. KG, start the clock. Spell the word forever.
Forever.
Correct. What is the largest ocean in the world?
Pacific Ocean.
Correct. A unicorn has the body of which animal?
A horse.
Correct. What is 80 divided by 4?
32.
It's 20.
Oh, no.
Which one of South Africa's neighboring countries lies on the Atlantic Ocean?
Pass.
Namibia. Which is the current host country of the Dakar Rally? Saudi Arabia or Antarctica?
Saudi Arabia.
Correct. In rugby, how many players does the Springbok team have?
13.
15. Which animal related to domestic cattle appears on South Africa's 100 Rand note?
The bull.
The buffalo. Which word means city, rural, or urban?
Rural.
It's urban. It's urban. A bit of a rough round there for you, Kiara. You walk away with 4 correct answers. 400 Rand is what you win. You started off really, really well, and I think you hit a hobble in the middle.
The brainy kids of the Whiz Quiz.
On 702.
Coming up in the next hour, what's the question? And it's brought to you by Outsurance. Up to 3,000 Rand in cash is up for grabs. What you do is you send us an answer based on something that piqued your interest during the show, and for that you win 1,000 Rand. WhatsApp us your name and the answer to 072 702 1702. And of course, a little later, someone else will ask the question to win 2,000 Rand. Remember, you stand a better chance of being selected to give us today's answer if you've SMS'd out to Outsurance and got yourself a quote. So do it now. SMS out to 45142 and you could save on your car insurance.
702.
The Political Desk.
So the Political Desk mainly looks at big political stories of the week that was, and we usually are in conversation with EWN's Tsidi Madia, who is on leave. So we thought we'd do a little something today, a little something different today, and invite a political role player than just a commentator. Now, here's a question. What does Neville Chamberlain and even Boris Johnson have in common other than being former British prime ministers? Well, they would have heard some variation of these words. You have sat too long here for any good you've been doing. Depart, I say, and let us have done with you. In the name of God, go. It's a classic phrase, or expression rather, in British politics that has been used over generations, beginning in the English Civil War by Oliver Cromwell, and it was said to Chamberlain and Boris Johnson. And it is one that has likely occurred to our next guest, Songezo Zibi, leader of Rise Mzansi, who's demanding the dismissal of the Defence Minister Angie Motshekga and the SANDF chief Bongani Bingwa. It follows the minister's defense of the army chief after he made controversial remarks on that recent visit to Iran. And with South Africa's relationship with the United States, one of Iran's fiercest rivals, fraught with tensions, Washington is now formally demanding Pretoria's clarity on the situation. It's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you for your time.
Good morning, Bongani, and thank you very much for having me on this morning.
Did you rub your eyes when you first read the General's comments?
Yes, I did, Bongani, but I was also not surprised because there is a recklessness to how some senior government officials and ministers deal with matters of foreign policy and at a highly unstable time in the world with big risks for South Africa's well-being economically and in terms of security. So I wasn't surprised because there appears to be a general lack of strategic awareness at the top level.
The presidency has responded with a technicality as an answer. I spoke to Vincent Magwenya, who said, of course, the president neither knew nor sanctioned this trip. And my response would be, well, he wouldn't. It's not as if he has to sign off leave forms.
No, of course, it doesn't have to sign off leave forms. But what a functioning government does is that throughout the top echelons, everybody understands what the key national risks are, what the geopolitical sensitivities are, and they should know what to do when, what to say to whom and when, what can be said publicly or not cannot be said publicly. So everybody knows that South Africa is engaged in very difficult negotiations with the government of the United States of America, which is an enemy of Iran, a military enemy of Iran. And it's important that to protect our economic interests, we conclude the negotiations with the United States. First, before anyone makes statements that can be provocative and undermine South Africa's negotiations, the general is senior enough. He should have known that. The defense minister is in cabinet. She should know that. And that the two of them do not appear to understand that makes them actually a risk for South Africa's interests at the level at which they're operating, and they shouldn't occupy those positions.
Yeah, because the best the ministry could say was that these remarks were unfortunate. How woefully unsuitable is Angie Motshekga as defense minister?
Look, I mean, you know, Bongani, I've tried, given my role, and that I try and use facts before me in terms of the governance of the various institutions to make an assessment on ministers and other officials. And I'd given the Minister of Defense and Military Veterans some slack, given that she's a new minister in the role. But this is a different matter. And I think that if she cannot understand that this should not happen and that the president and herself should take action in this case, then that makes her patently unsuitable. We cannot, this is not marbles or something that kids play with. This is very serious business. We've had a factory closing down in Gqeberha at Goodyear with 900 jobs lost. We've got export programs to the United States. $3.2 billion of trade per year is at risk. And a minister should know that. Certainly a minister should know that.
Well, I mean, I can point to a number of other examples where her abilities were sorely lacking. The Eastern DRC matter, the repatriation of those soldiers, the statements that she made, the doublespeak between her and her deputy. I can go on to other examples. But we know, of course, this president hardly fires anyone, least of all because opposition parties demand it. I mean, going back to the general statements, this is red meat to MAGA. These are now the Trump supporters and this Trump White House.
No, of course. But one of the things that has surprised me is that the United States, in turn, has actually, uncharacteristically for the Trump administration, followed normal diplomatic protocol, which was they will seek clarity from the South African government. Now, that's a huge relief because under normal circumstances, there would have been a tweet or a post on Truth Social where Trump says the tariff against South Africa will now be 60%. He's done that with other countries with very serious consequences. So I hope that we may have dodged a bullet on this occasion, but it's important that the president asserts his authority. Minister Ronald Lamola works for him. All matters of foreign policy must get the approval of the Minister of Foreign Affairs. There is a military attaché in all, if not most, embassies. That military attaché does not facilitate or do something that the ambassador does not know about. This is chaotic. And it is an indication of how things at the top do not appear to be working as they should.
There are other issues, of course, when it comes to the Department of Defense. Irregularities and audit failures. This is what's coming out of the Auditor General's office, isn't it?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, I would ask every 702 listener. So I'll say three things quickly about the state of the Defense Force. Look at the boots of every soldier you met wearing the camouflage, the daily camouflage uniform. The boots are worn out, firstly. Secondly, they don't look the same. And even when they parade, if you look at some of the pictures, the boots don't even look the same and they're worn out because the SANDF is not able to replenish the uniform on time. The second thing is that the camouflage uniform that the SANDF has was supposed to have been replaced years ago. They've got bales of this stuff. They can't allocate enough funds to make the new camouflage uniform, as an example. And yet, the department or the Defense Force has the worst audit outcome of any government department for years. That is why the Standing Committee on Public Accounts is focusing on it. They buy obsolete equipment, they misallocate funds, they've got useless projects with Cuba that they spend money on. When the Defense Force conducted the battle exercises in Lohatra in the Northern Cape, there were no mobile toilets, and soldiers had to go and squat in the bushes.
Goodness.
And this general goes and he makes loose statements overseas. that are going to harm South Africa's economic success. Why should we retain someone like that as head of the Defence Force?
I think it says a lot about the commander-in-chief as well when it comes to all of that. Songezo Zibi, appreciate your time. Leader of Rise Mzansi. He says Angie Motshekga and the chief of the SANDF, this General Mapwanga, must go, and it must go now.
702.
Coming up, the big interview.
Up next, we speak to the city of Tshwane about this settlement, this informal settlement, Klein Fontaine. It's a self-declared Afrikaner-only settlement. It's an informal settlement east of Pretoria. If you're as dark as I am, you're not allowed to stay there. They've even got a boom gate. The city wants to get rid of it. Why was it there in the first instance? That's coming up. It's 7 o'clock.
This is EWN.
Musi Maimane says the staggering amount for the National Dialogue has been revised, and Gauteng Health is mulling over its next move as it appeals an order about the treatment of cancer patients. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. It's emerged that the cost for the National Dialogue has been cut to 485 million rand. Build One South Africa leader Musi Maimane says Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana confirmed the revised figure in a written response to him. There were concerns that 2 months ago, when the dialogue's preparation task team disclosed that the initiative would cost more than 700 million rand. During a media briefing yesterday, Maimane shared email exchanges he had with the minister detailing the dialogue's revised budget. Alfara Mushwana has more.
While the establishment of a national dialogue was welcomed by many, concerns mounted over the revelation that it would cost more than 700 million rand. Addressing the first national convention last week, President Cyril Ramaphosa assured South Africans that the cost would be significantly reduced.
We can have this dialogue much cheaper.
However, Build One South Africa leader Musi Maimane has revealed that the finance minister has confirmed the revised budget to him directly.
Minister Enoch Godongwana yesterday wrote to me extensively about what the national dialogue would effectively cost. He commits South Africa will spend an estimated 485 million rand on the national dialogue.
Eyewitness News has reached out to National Treasury to verify the minister's email to Maimane, but the inquiry has not yet received a response. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
The Gauteng Health Department says it's studying a court judgment ordering immediate radiation oncology services for cancer patients. Advocacy groups Cancer Alliance and Section 27 took the department to court for allegedly violating the constitutional rights of patients to access healthcare. The High Court ruled in favor of the NGOs in the matter, but the ruling has since been suspended pending an appeal process. Tanduluhle Ngobo reports.
The Johannesburg High Court gave the thumbs up to an application by the Cancer Alliance in Section 27 to have patients provided with oncology services. However, soon after, it was suspended after the Health Department filed leave to appeal the ruling and was successful in their bid. In response, the organizations instituted a counterbid and approached the Gauteng High Court to enforce the ruling pending the appeal process. A backlog list from March 2023 showed that nearly 3,000 cancer patients were awaiting treatment, some for over 3 years, which have resulted in dire consequences. The Gauteng High Court approved the application, citing that a backlog meant patients were being denied treatment at crucial timelines for their health. Gauteng Health spokesperson Motalatala Motiba says the department has acknowledged the judgment and will determine and communicate appropriate course of action once a review is complete. Tanduluhle Ngobo, Eyewitness News.
Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of interference and corruption in the police will meet again today following delays in adopting its terms of reference. The committee agreed on Monday to adopt the final draft by the end of this week after members finally agreed on the submissions and additions from the different parties represented in the committee. National Assembly Speaker Togo Didiza has also come out in defense of Parliament's legal advisors assigned to the committee following attacks from MPs who questioned their competence to lead the process. Babalondense reports.
The adoption of the terms of reference have taken longer than expected after MPs made several recommendations and changes to the draft version. The amendments include the scope of the investigation, the protection of whistleblowers, as well as legal representation for witnesses who must appear. Parties also called for an external legal counsel to lead the evidence and not Parliament. But Parliament spokesperson Moloto Mothapo says Speaker Tokoti Diza has full confidence in the legal team.
And their professionalism, competence and integrity have stood the test of constitutional legal scrutiny for many years. While members may not always agree with their opinions, disagreements should never translate into personal attacks on their dignity or credibility.
With the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set to start its work on the 1st of September, the ad hoc committee is expected to begin its own investigation in due course. Babalo Ndense, Eyewitness News.
And Russia has launched more than 500 drones and 40 missiles on Ukraine in one of the heaviest attacks in weeks. Ukrainian officials say one person was killed in a drone and missile strike on the western city of Lviv, while 15 others were reported wounded in an attack in the southwestern parts of the country. The attacks came as US President Donald Trump spearheads diplomatic moves to stop the war. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine is ready to meet Russia's Vladimir Putin in neutral Europe. The prospects of direct talks emerged after Trump met Putin in Alaska and then hosted Zelensky and European leaders in the White House on Monday. Gold is trading at $3,333.62 an ounce. The rand is at 17.71 to the dollar, 23.76 to the pound, 20.56 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.54 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the N17 West between Carnival City and the R21. This is due to roadworks taking place between these 2 points, and they are causing about a 20-minute hold up there, while traveling on the N3 North, delays between Elands Interchange and Fontaine Road, and that's due to peak time pressure.
The Proteas lose the early wicket of Aiden Markram in the second ODI against Australia. Coach Miguel Cardozo feels that once-way striker Lucas Ribeirõ's dispute with Mamelodi Sundowns won't disrupt the locker room. Jean-Luc Dupree opens up about the struggles of getting back into the Springbok setup.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. Johannesburg is at a low of 11 degrees, peaking at 28. Pretoria 11 and 29. Vereeniging 6 and 27. The top story in EWN this hour. Build One South Africa leader Mmusi Maimane says Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana has confirmed a revised figure of the national dialogue.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Show up for the finalist who showed up for you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Vote for your favorite local business now on primediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 7 o'clock, you're listening to 702 Breakfast on this happy Friday. If you are an officer in the army, I'd love to hear from you. You can even send us a voice note anonymously. I thought it was such a good example that Sunga Zibi pointed to. He says, look at their uniforms. Even when they're doing official parades. This is not perhaps when they're on duty, I don't know, at the border or something. On official parades, when their shoes are meant to be their shiniest, he says some of those are worn out. Some of those boots are worn out. The uniform is not the same. Part of running an army is being disciplined about the smallest things. What time you get up, whether your bed is made and it's made in a particular way. It's being able to follow the simplest of instructions. And if you're telling me that our troops can't even show up in the same kind of uniform, some have better boots than others, well, it's no wonder the chief of the army doesn't think about what he's saying when he goes off to go make political statements, highly inflammatory in a very sensitive environment, knowing he's going to get away with it.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
Talking of the army, I want you to listen now. This is a clip from Ugagasi FM, which is a station broadcasting out of KZN. General Bantu Holomisa, who's not only the leader of the UDM, but is also the Deputy Defence Minister, was on a talk show hosted by Alex Mtiane. It's a popular show on that station in KZN. And I've got a couple of clips for you that I'm going to play. He loses his cool during a live broadcast of Ukagasi FM. And this, of course, has been doing the rounds. Just have a listen. And the bits that are not in English, I will translate. So the bits that are not in English, there's not a lot of it, but I'll translate it. But I think you get the gist of the conversation nonetheless.
Sure, Alex,
I've noticed you general got arrogant.
Yeah, when are you arrogant?
The whole was for him to answer my questions now as citizens. Who general replied and said, language that for me, that's discrimination. Number two,
that's a compliment about the arrogant. Now you are arrogant.
General,
thank you. Bye-bye.
Now
you're talking nonsense. You're talking nonsense.
We don't need these people in the station because they can't answer our questions, but we voted for them to be there.
I think you get the gist of that little exchange. A caller phones into the station and refers to somebody else who had made a comment and says that the Deputy Minister responded in an arrogant way in dealing with this. And I think you hear the Deputy Minister's response, but it continues. It gets even more heated. Have a listen.
Please, can we have proper people to answer an account? Not this member of parliament that can't even account and be arrogant.
Yeah, sorry, General, I know you have to respond as well because we are at Teka, but you just used a line at go to hell. I'm going to ask you to retract that particular phrase.
I'm not going to do that. If you are not satisfied, go to hell now.
Oh,
protect now.
No, but the party would...
So at some point in the earlier exchange, the general calls out to the listener to go to hell, and the listener objects, and the presenter tries to step in, Alex Mtiane, and he's also told to go to hell. So in the context of my conversation with Songezo Zibi, perhaps that gives you a picture of what's going on when it comes to the Defence Department. Let's take things overseas now. I want you to listen to the US President speaking to the European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen in Washington. They were there, of course, discussing the crisis in Ukraine, but Ursula von der Leyen from the EU underscores the challenge of the Ukrainian children that she says were abducted by the Russian forces and their need to be returned back to their families. And then have a listen to what Donald Trump says as a response.
Every single child has to go back to its family. This should be one of our main priorities also in these negotiations, to make sure that the children come back to Ukraine, to their families.
Thank you. And we did. I was just thinking we're here for a different reason, but we just a couple of weeks ago made the largest trade deal in history. So that's a big thing, and congratulations. That's great. Thank you very much, Ursula. Mr. Chancellor from Germany,
He has no idea what she just said. He has absolutely no idea what she just said. If ever there was a Biden moment, hey?
You're with Bongani Bingwa.
7:02 weekday mornings, 6 to 9 a.m.
Now here's the question. How do you meet negative energy? Do you match it? If they go low, you go lower. They go high, you go higher. Do you try and quell it and calm things down? Or do you say, let's go outside? After school is after school. The California governor, Gavin Newsom, is taking the fight over redistricting to the voters. So basically what they've been trying to do is change the districts of California, and they're calling it redistricting. Redistricting. I think that's how I mean to say it. But he's also started the social media campaign where he's basically doing everything Donald Trump does. He tweets like Donald Trump. I mean, of course, it's all satirical, but MAGA doesn't get it. He tweets like Trump does, and he's just gone on this offensive, and MAGA is going absolutely crazy. And I thought that would be something that's worth talking about. Also, the bail hearing of two women linked to the Germiston Home Affairs fire is due today. Remember when we told you about that protest and that petrol bomb? And it's two women. It's two women who were arrested, a pensioner and a 30-year-old, briefly appeared in court yesterday on charges of public violence and damaging public infrastructure. And on this day, 1902, the Cadillac was born. Engineer Henry Leland and his son founded the company after a dispute led Henry Ford to leave this venture. Leland named the brand after French explorer Antoine de la Motte Cadillac, the founder of Detroit. The Gauteng MEC, Matume Chilwane, will give an update today on the 2026 online admissions for grade 1 and grade 8. And the pop star Dua Lipa turns 30 today.
702. Up next.
The big interview.
EWN.
It's 7:15. This Eyewitness News Traffic is brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. There are peak time delays, Amo, and perhaps that's why KG has spared us from Dua Lipa music. Eh?
Yeah. We will give him.
I think people will be.
Well, if you're traveling on the Mark 1 North, delays from Boysons to Empire Road. There's also queuing traffic on the N1 South, heading towards Midrand between Samrand Avenue and Fontaine Road, while in Kempton Park, delays on the R21 North between the Tambo Interchange and Atlas Road. Please be on the lookout there. I'll have more updates. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Outsurance is simply the best at raising their own bar. They scored 9.99 on the Hello Peter Trust Index, a near 5-star rating on Google reviews, and have outperformed their personal best on the number of complaints referred to the Ombudsman per 1,000 claims. Switch to the insurer that keeps raising the bar. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za today. You always get something out. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
702.
The big interview
with Bongani Bingwa.
Submit the paperwork or face the bulldozers. The city of Tshwane has issued a stark ultimatum to Fontaine. This is an informal settlement that has declared itself a tight-knit community of Afrikaner residents east of Pretoria. The city is arguing that Fontaine's 2013 application to be recognized is outdated and no longer valid under current bylaws, and the Metro now wants courts to force the community to lodge a fresh application or face being bulldozed. But Fontaine is crying foul, insisting they're being unfairly targeted for removal. They're saying it's, in a sense, a reverse forced removal. You may remember those from the apartheid years. Aaron Maluleka is the City of Tshwane's Human Settlements MMC and joins us now to explain all of this. A very good morning to you and welcome to 702 Breakfast.
Good morning and thank you for having me, Bongani.
All right, firstly, I suppose, please help us understand. I've got a particular picture of what I think Fontaine is. Am I right? Is it an informal settlement that has declared itself an Afrikaans-only area? Have I got that right?
It has the latter, but I think the focus now is that Fontaine, it's in terms of planning, it's an illegal township. Therefore, from outside, it has features of a developed area with very nice, expensive houses, a small industrial area, a community hall, a school, and a few shops that are trading through the community or the 652 dwellings that are found in that area. To then deal with the latter question of whether it's a racial enclave, I think it's the people of Fontaine and the leadership that through media engagement, they wanted to preserve their culture and have a white-only community. And it's what comes from them. But for us, our interest has always been focused on them complying in terms of our land use management.
Aaron, I'll come back to the compliance issues. I just want to make sure that I've got my facts right before we get there. So it is incorrect to think of it as an informal settlement with informal structures, for example. That's an incorrect picture of it.
We have classified areas like Fontaine as illegal townships because they have sold properties, they've built houses without applications.
Okay. Informal settlement. It's a very simple question I'm asking you. We'll get to the legalities and the procedural issues. I've described the settlement as an informal settlement in the way that one might think of others around the country. I'm trying to make sure that that description of it is accurate. If it isn't, please correct me now. We'll get to the legalities and the technicalities. Just give me a moment.
You are correct. It's an informal settlement.
Is that informality because these homes were not approved by the city? Is that what you mean?
Yes.
But not that it's a settlement of, say, structures made of corrugated iron, for instance.
Yes, they have built expensive structures.
So they're more formal structures.
They are more formal structures, yes.
All right, that's what I was trying to get to. Now, let's get to the other question. I think you're a leader of the city. You're the Human Settlements MMC. I think you should be able to answer to me whether this is a racially exclusive enclave or not.
Yes, I should. I'm saying that we have heard from them that they want to preserve their culture. And from a simple explanation is that they want to preserve it for whites only as a community.
Right. So as things stand now, if you are not white or Afrikaans, as far as they are concerned, you can't live there.
Yes.
Okay, now let's get to the legalities and the technicalities. Firstly, how has the city allowed what you are calling an illegal settlement to mushroom with formal structures, the school you described, the community hall you described, and these expensive houses without the appropriate or requisite approvals?
Then, Fontaine is an agricultural land that is not zoned for any other use. Illegally, they have built these structures, these dwellings that I was referring to earlier on. And in 2013, they tried to bring their own papers through the defunct act, which is called the Development Facilitation Act, which is now repealed and replaced with SPLUMA. But now we have, on many occasions, reminded them that they are not compliant. And one of their groups, because these are two groups that were fighting within Fontaine, that took each other to court. And court found against one group that their development is illegal and city needs to take action against their illegality. And we are doing what comes out of the court order, that we must force them to submit their papers of land use, and they must also rezone their land in terms of township establishment if they want to go that route. And in the recent past, I think you are aware that we have dealt with our valuation role. And Fontaine had to be also issued with new bills because it was illegal for them to then want to build these dwellings, collect rates and taxes from those people illegally, place them in a trust account without paying council. And that's where we are, that they must comply. If they don't comply, in part of our prayers is that we are willing to help them to submit and comply. If they're not willing, the last resort is for them to demolish those structures.
All right. So you want them to basically, because you mentioned the Spatial Planning and Land Use Management Act, you're saying essentially if they fulfill all the requirements of that legislation, this settlement will stand, will continue, perhaps in a different way, but it will remain if they comply.
Of course, they will if they follow all our SPLUMA and our land use management bylaw, which was promulgated in 2016.
All right, they're saying increasing their monthly fees from an estimated 50,000 Rand to 2 million Rand is specifically targeting them, and they're saying those kind of rates threaten the settlement's survival.
It's incorrect, Bongani, because for many years they've been collecting monies from these dwellings. And city needs to recoup what is due to them. We need to get these monies to roll out social infrastructure, and we can treat them differently from any other community that has established itself, and that's why we're issuing them with those bills.
Would it be fair to say that you are retrospectively now trying to fit a square peg into a round hole?
Not necessarily. Remember, there's a building a regulation that if you are not following the building control
and the planning regulations, we can penalize you. We can issue fines. We can issue penalties. It's there in law. It's not something.
I completely understand that, but I mean,
it's designed for Fontaine.
Sure, I understand that completely, and I accept it. But for example, the origins of Fontaine becoming what it has, from agricultural use exclusively to now this informal settlement in the legal sense, when did that begin?
They tried in 2013 to bring their application. I'm saying for
no,
the last
that's not what I'm
years,
asking you. I'm saying to you, when did Fontaine become the settlement that we would know today? It's at least been around since 2013, but even earlier than that, wouldn't you agree?
No, I do agree. It was an agricultural land, Bongani.
I understand.
But the mass development when it takes place,
yeah,
therefore it draws attention. So it draws attention of the city, and the city acts on those bases.
Yes, but the
So
point I'm making, Aaron, is that it hasn't mushroomed overnight, precisely because, as you corrected me earlier, we're not talking about informal structures here. This is a development that has occurred over time. It's an enclave that the residents insist must be Afrikaner only, and the city is only acting now years since it became the way that it is.
In the last 8 years, for example, the leaders of Fontaine, one was MMC of Community Safety, one was Chair of Finance. In the last 8 years, they overlooked this matter. When we came into office, we reminded them that there's monies that are due to the city, and we are following in terms of what the laws of local government are saying. We could, I agree with you that in 2014, 2015, we could have pursued them, but there was no mass development that is currently in place in Fontaine.
Is it a stain on the city's record? I understand there have been several administrations led by different political actors, but is it a stain on the city's record that this kind of thing was allowed in the first place?
Yes, it's a stain, but you'd understand that the current leadership established a sub-mayoral committee to focus on illegal townships. So it's not only Fontaine that we have. We've got one in Harangua, we've got one in next to Mamelodi. If you're going to Kalinin, we have one, almost two in Hammanskraal. We have the other one in Centurion. And for all these 17 illegal townships, we want to assist them to be, to follow right regulations and to be township established in a proper manner in line with SPLUMA and our bylaw. That if all of them would then come to the party, we'll be able to assist them, because we're losing money there. We're losing revenue because I
think for many people listening to us, Aaron, one of the thorny issues certainly is going to be the idea whether you can get these structures formalized or not, whether you can get this area rezoned or not. Certainly, I think for anybody listening to our conversation, the thorny issue that's going to stand out is the idea of a racial enclave reserved only for white Afrikaners, even if you get the money in your coffers that you say is owed to you. City of Tshwane Human Settlements MMC Aaron Maluleka on the line there. What do you think the city should do? This thing has been allowed to grow and grow and grow, so it's not at all the informal settlement that I was made to understand it is. They've got formal structures, they've got schools, they've got formal buildings, and they've even got a boom gate. That explains it, hey? The boom gate. But it's there. And fine, let's say they do register according to SPLUMA. This is the Spatial Planning and Land Use Management Act. The city gets its money. But does it stay a racial enclave? How's that okay?
EWN Business.
This business report is proudly brought by GIC. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC sets a better standard of living. GIC, changing lives. It's 29 after 7. Mateo Kharipa, the Cell C owner, Blue Label, reporting better earnings, announcing a major restructure.
Yeah,
Blue Label Telecoms expects profits to surge by around 521%. In May, the company announced a restructuring that included Cell C acquiring Com Equipment Company in exchange for additional Cell C shares. The Competition Tribunal has now unconditionally approved the proposed merger, which will see Cell C acquire Blue Label Telecoms CEC. Now, CEC provides essential back office and administrative services for Cell C's post-paid mobile operations. Blue Label is also considering spinning off Cell C from the company as part of its restructuring. This will see the operator list independently on the JSE. This means we'll have 4 telecoms company on the local bourse. Blue Label has revalued its investment in the company to about 962 million rand.
See for yourself, eh? Exara's shares up 10%. They're reporting high profits.
Yeah, the coal mine are saying coal production was steady at 19.4 million tons, while sales rose around 1%. This was due to stronger domestic and export demand. Exara's shares are reaching around 10% after the company reporting higher profit for the 6 months ended in June. Profit rose to 11%, 4.1 billion rand.
Where's the rand?
17 rand 73 against the US dollar, 20 rand 55 cents against the euro, and at 23 rand 75 cents against the British pound. Price of gold at $3,327 an ounce. It's lower this morning with platinum at $1,342. Brent crude at $67.58 a barrel. More business after 8.
Change requires skill, an agile body to fill the gaps. But real change moves collaboratively, progressively, enabling, because it knows what to do and how to improve the lives of the deserving. Through infrastructure-related projects, GIC actively brings change for the better, because real change sets a standard of living, of being. GIC, changing lives.
Time now for your latest eyewitness news. We're staying with the city of Tshwane and its mayor, Zulu. Good morning.
That's right, Bongani. Good morning. The city says it cannot afford to bankroll dormant assets as the municipality kickstarts an ambitious 5 billion rand investment drive. Mayor Nasipi Moya and her committee visited Rooiwal Power Station and the neighbouring Pyramid substation yesterday. The city is preparing for next month's investment summit, where it will take some of its assets to the market for buy-in from investors in public-private partnerships. Moya says getting the Rooiwal Power Station up and running after more than a decade out of commission is part of the Metro's turnaround strategy.
This strategy serves as a practical roadmap for growth, investment and jobs. It sets a bold target to grow Tshwane's economy at an average of 3.9% by 2029, to attract between 17 and 26 billion rand in investment to the city, and to create at least 80,000 jobs across both the formal and informal sectors.
She says giving the dilapidated Tshwane showgrounds, the fresh produce market and water infrastructure a facelift is crucial to making Tshwane an investment destination.
But one thing we can say to the potential investors, things will never be the same again. Tshwane will be an investment-friendly place.
The NPA has welcomed lengthy sentences handed down to 3 men convicted of killing a witness outside the Wynberg Magistrates Court in the Western Cape. Mandisi Mofu, who was the triggerman, has been sentenced to life imprisonment for shooting Christine Kumara in 2023. Mofu, who was also convicted of attempted murder of Tandiful Yoon after a second bullet meant for the deceased shattered her vehicle's rear window. His accomplices, Lukanyo Mene and Vuminkosi Vumani, have both been handed 15-year prison terms for identifying her to him prior to the hits. Ntutuzelo Nene reports.
State Advocate Chandra Smith argued in aggravation of sentence that the actions of the accused were a blatant disregard for the functioning of the legal system. She further argued that these actions instilled fear in witnesses as they could be killed outside the court building steps. NPA spokesperson Eric Ndabazalila.
Western Cape Director of Public Prosecutions, Advocate Nicole Bell, says the court have sent a very clear message that anyone who targets state witnesses will face similar consequences.
Ndutuzelo Nene, Eyewitness News in Cape Town.
And the Niger army says it has killed a Boko Haram leader in the Lake Chad basin where the country borders Nigeria, Chad and Cameroon. Niger says Bakura was killed during a surgical operation last week. He led a splinter group loyal to former Boko Haram leader Abubakar Shekau and moved to the islands of the Niger side of the lake with his fighters. Bakura joined Boko Haram more than 13 years ago and took over leadership of the group after Shekau's death in 2021. Boko Haram's insurgency against the government to establish its own caliphate in 2029, and it has left 40,000 people dead and forced more than 2 million to flee their homes. The conflict has also spilled across Nigeria's borders, with Niger suffering its first attacks by the group in 2015. A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 28 and 29.
And in the traffic, we've got bumper-to-bumper traffic between the Carnival City and R21. This is due to roadworks taking place along this route, so please be on the lookout. While in Kempton Park, a major accident seen along the R21. I can see it's affecting traffic both directions of this route in and out of the OR Tambo Airport this morning, so please be on the lookout and do expect about a 30-minute hold-up.
The top story this hour, the city of Tshwane says it cannot afford to bankroll dormant assets as the metro kickstarts an ambitious 5 billion rand investment drive.
Gauteng's greatest awards of 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
Outsurance is simply the best at raising their own bar. Outsurance scored 9.99 on the Hello Peter Trust Index and near 5-star rating on Google Reviews, and have outperformed their personal best on the number of complaints referred to the Ombudsman per 1,000 claims. Switch to the insurer that keeps raising the bar. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za today. You always get something out. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
Payment solutions should run with your business wherever and whenever it happens. With PayFast by Network, you can accept payments online, in-store, or on the move with one simple, secure system. And when business picks up, our Easy Advance funding gives you flexibility to move even faster. Always open for every hour, for every order, for you. Sign up today at payfast.io. PayFast has partnered with TimeBank to offer funding to your business.
Luck could be on your side when you play Powerball and Powerball Plus for 69 million rand in total estimated jackpots this Friday. That's right. Play Powerball for an estimated 26 million rand and Powerball Plus for an estimated 43 million rand today. Buy your tickets now in store on nationallottery.co.za, the mobile app, cell phone banking, or simply dial *120*7529# for USSD. Panda, Pusha, play. Players must be 18 years old and play responsibly. E2 is the proud operator of the National Lottery.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Look, good morning, first of all. If they want to remove this informal entitlement, then they must be very quick to also remove the illegal settlements that are mushrooming around places that we don't understand why they're mushrooming there. Wabona. So if they're going to take them away, they must do away with all the other illegal mushroom places that are just happening. Like, can we be consistent? You know, I understand Africans only what, but can we be very consistent with not just a particular race or yes, legal matters, but there's illegal settlements as well. Can they also remove them?
Morning, Bongani, and morning to your listeners. The MEC for housing in Tshwane, whatever. I think you should have invited the mayor, Ms. Nasipi. I think she was going to be able to answer better, because I'm trying to follow the MEC, but I just cannot connect what he's trying to say.
Good day, Bongani. Sipoye. Yes, I know I'm not educated, yes, but this guy, you asking him a simple question that my 5-year-old daughter will answer immediately. He can't answer that. How did it become a settlement while it was an agriculture space? That's what you're asking, a simple thing. he can't answer that.
Let me ask you a question, Bongani Tyron Randburg. As a white man, would I be allowed into a black township and live there? Unlawful settlement. Do you think they would let me move into that township and live there? So is that okay? It's just a question. Love an answer.
Tyron, just follow that question to its logical conclusion. How did the black townships come about to begin with? Right? Weren't those the places that black people were sent to as far away from the cities as possible? Far away, not to be an eyesore to the white population, close enough to still be able to come in and work and clean their homes and cut their lawns. I've known white people actually who live in Soweto, who choose to live in Soweto, and are welcomed with open arms. The fact that it's a black township has an historical background. It didn't become a black township because the black people decided they were going to live there and nobody else could. It became a black township because it's what the white people told the black people it would be. Don't be ahistorical. The issue here is we are now 31 years into democracy, and there are still these little enclaves that are popping up where people decide nobody who looks different to them may live there. The fact is, there's electricity running through, there's water in the taps. The city has been very much a part of this development, right? Most informal settlements don't have those things. Well, it's too late now. They're not going to demolish it. They're just being dramatic. My question is, say that these residents of Fontaine comply with all the municipal laws and regulations. How do we get comfortable that they'll be paying their rates to the city of Tshwane and still able, in this democratic era, to insist that people who are not white cannot live there?
702.
What's the question?
What's the question is brought to you by Outsurance. Your chance to win up to 3,000 Rand in cash. First, 1,000 Rand for the answer, and then 2,000 Rand if you can give us the question a little later on. SMS out to 45142 now, and you could save on your car insurance. Today's answer comes from Selby. Selby in Orlando East. Selby, give us the answer, please.
Good morning, brother Bongani. It's 30.
Ooh, 30 is the answer. I thought you were going to go sort of the liquid soap route. All right, Selby. Tell me, have you got yourself a quote from Outsurance?
Yes, I have.
Biscuit, 1,000 Rand is coming your way, all thanks to 702.
Hallelujah. Thank you. Thank you.
I love it when people are excited about that. All right, Selby says 30 is the answer. What's the question? Call us if you know on 011 883 0702.
EWN Sport.
All right, this EWN Sport is brought to you by RMB Corporate Banking. Ready, set, cash flow. Anthony Teixeira is in the studio. So, Anthony, a number of listeners, perhaps I think misheard you earlier. We were talking about what are those things you still insist on doing the hard way, even with the available technologies. And you made a comment about the GPS lady.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said?
That I don't trust her.
So it wasn't a reference to all ladies.
No, just that lady in particular, the GPS lady.
All right, so it's not
no,
to all ladies, just
trust
to be clear.
me. With no.
Anthony loves ladies.
100%.
Loves all ladies.
Yeah.
All types of ladies.
100%. Except the GPS lady.
Except the GPS lady. You know she's AI, right?
Yeah, but point taken.
She doesn't.
Fair.
All right, let's get straight into local football.
Yes, of course, because Coach Miguel Cardozo is certain that the ongoing dispute between Mamelodi Sundowns and once-away striker Lucas Ribeiro will not disrupt the locker room. Last season's PSL Player of the Year is looking to terminate his contract with the club, saying that he has just cause and has taken the case to FIFA. He's been linked with the move away throughout the transfer window. The Brazilians have said that they're open to negotiations.
Well, I think Mamelodi Sundowns is not making any kind of noise around it, whatever happens.
Mamelodi Sundowns is preserving everything that might be happening and keep it inside locker rooms, inside the doors, let's say. The locker room it's impossible to be broken by these kind of things. The locker room is too strong. The values inside the club are too strong.
They have a chance to show that focus when Downs face off against Orlando Pirates in the MTN 8 second leg semi-final with an all-level 1-1 Saturday. Meanwhile, Live Action has the Proteas just after drinks 90 for the loss of 2 against Australia in that second ODI. Tony Dezorzi on 38 alongside Matthew Bretsky, who's on 44. Aidan Markram as well as Ryan Rickleton are back in the pavilion early. In rugby, the Wallabies have made 3 changes for the second Rugby Championship clash against the Springboks, with Rob Valentine, Tom Robertson being recalled, while Corey Toole will be handed a debut. Meanwhile, Bach loose forward Jean-Luc Dupree has admitted he wasn't too sure he'd be back in the Springbok picture.
Your mind is a powerful thing, and there were times that I was thinking like, should I just give up on the Springboks? But I would never be able to do that. So, as you said, it's taken quite a while for me to start again. It's taken 7 years. But then again, you can never take this for granted, because when you get your shot, you need to make it count.
Sunday afternoon, we have the Springbok women beginning their World Cup in England against Brazil. The side's record isn't great, with only 3 wins from their 18 matches to date, with the last tournament seeing them fail to pick up a victory. And in golf, South Africa's Thomas Aiken is joint leader alongside 3 others after the first round of the British Masters, while in the PGA Tour, Russell Henley caught a 9-under-par opening round to be 2 clear of world number 1 Scotty Scheffler at the Tour Championship, and Jean-Paul Strydom heads into the final day of the Sunbet Challenge at Wingate with a 2-stroke lead over the pack. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
Feeling some lag in Sector 3?
Copy. Optimizing working capital. Ready. You're approaching a tight corner. Cash flow pressure ahead.
Low on liquidity. Supply pressure is building. Set.
Deploying cash injection in 3, 2, 1, flow.
Nice move. Better supply chain control.
Lab time advantage. Faster cash cycles, leaner inventory, and optimized working capital.
Ready, set, cash flow. Corporate banking from RMB. RMB, a division of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized FSP and credit provider.
Dreaming of a tropical escape? World Leisure Holidays has your ticket to paradise with exclusive getaways to the Indian Ocean Islands. From the beaches of Mauritius and the Maldives to the charm of Madagascar, Seychelles, Zanzibar, and more, your dream destination awaits. Take advantage of early bird specials and pay stay offers. Call 011-285-2500 and mention 702 for a mystery discount. Or follow us on social media or contact your nearest travel professional. Start planning your escape today. T's and C's apply.
The Standard Bank Joy of Jazz 2025 is diving deep into the heart and art of jazz. This year, the legendary Jazz at Lincoln Center Orchestra with Wynton Marsalis are making a triumphant return to Johannesburg. Expect an unforgettable lineup, 60 megastars, including Esperanza Spalding, Michelle Ndengochelo, so many, Sia Makuzeni, I beg your pardon, Amanda Black, Vusi Mahlasela, Nduduzo Makatini. It's just so many artists. Buy tickets to an incredible 3-day festival, 26, 27, 28 September. Tickets are selling fast via Ticketmaster. Take me there.
FlySafair is back this Bok Friday with another epic sale. To get the highest going ahead of Saturday's clash against Australia, we're giving you 30% off all domestic flights to and from Cape Town for travel until 30 September 2025. But here's the kicker. Our 30% off sale is only on for 80 minutes, starting from 10 a.m. So don't drop the ball. Wing it to flysafair.co.za and book your seat at 10 a.m. FlySafair, trusted domestic carrier of the Springboks. T's and C's apply.
Every Thursday on 702 Breakfast, Old Mutual Corporate tackles the tough questions around South Africa's retirement crisis and how to change the future we're heading toward within the world of work.
So certainly I think we also on a journey. We've started our reform journey and you know, we would have done the 2-pot retirement system, which covers the preservation part of it. We're going to reduce the leakage in the schemes. But when you look at the Australian context, it's a journey that has got a long time in it. So they started from mandatory contributions at a rate of 3%. They're now at 12%. So it's not a question of us copying and pasting. It's us appreciating retirement reform doesn't happen overnight.
The Old Mutual Thought Leaders Forum, Thursdays between 6 and 9 a.m. Brought to you by Old Mutual Corporate on 702.
EWN, traffic.
12 to 8, this EWN Traffic is brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. A crash on the R21 North. Amo?
That's correct, Bongani. It's right near Atlas Road. So if you're coming out of the OR Tambo Airport this morning, you'll be met with those heavy traffic volumes as a result of the scene. Traveling in the southerly direction of this route, we also have got delays coming out of Pomona Drive. This is due to people having a look at what's happening on the opposite side of the road. As a result, about a 20-minute hold-up coming out of the R23. And then we've got roadworks taking place on the N17 West. This is between Carnival City and Rondebolt Road, causing about a 30-minute hold-up. So traveling along this route, please be on the lookout, be patient, and try to use the N12 as an alternative towards areas like Germiston as well as Bedford View. I'll have your next traffic update coming up shortly. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Explore the wonders of Mpumalanga. Discover the ultimate wildlife experience, bringing you closer to nature. An adrenaline rush with endless adventure activities. Explore 4x4 routes or hike the Blythe River Canyon, the third largest in the world. Unwind with spectacular landscapes and majestic waterfalls. Make Mpumalanga your destination of choice. Mpumalanga, embrace the unknown, live the adventure. This message brought to you by the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. Mpumalanga, the place of the rising sun. Visit mpumalanga.com for more information.
702.
What's the question?
For 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to Outsurance. Please tell me what's the question. If the answer is 30, let's go to Tiru. Tiru, you are in Pretoria. What's the question?
Good morning, Bongani. The question is, how old is pop star Dua Lipa, who was born on this day, on 22nd August 1995, turning today?
So young, hey? So young, and she's huge, and she's huge and very famous. Tiru, you walk away with 2,000 Rand in cash, all thanks to 702 and Outsurance. And KG finally can't resist.
To go to sleep when I got you next to me. All night, I ride with you. I know you got my back.
I said. So Dua Lipa's song, Physical. Hey? Physical. I'm too old. It's lovely. It's, lovely. You're chewing gum and drinking your soda. Ooh. My Fridays. Listening to Dua Lipa. Outsurance is simply the best at beating their best. Outsurance. They scored 9.99 on the Hello Peter Trust Index, a near 5-star rating on Google Reviews, and have outperformed their personal best on the number of complaints per 1,000 claims referred to the Ombudsman. Switch to the insurer that delivers on price, service, and trust. Call 08600 60,000 or visit outsurance.co.za today. You always get something out. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP. T's, C's, and information online.
It's that time of the year. Sneezing, itchy, watery eyes, blocked noses, and coughs. It's time to live, work, play, and sleep allergy-free. For trusted relief for you and your family this allergy season, ask your pharmacist for the Adcock Ingram OTC Allergy Survival Pack. With products like Allergex Non-Drowsy, Cetisid, Levogex, and more, we have you covered. Remember, Adcock Ingram OTC. And visit beprepared365.co.za.
Every pothole, power cut, or burst pipe tells a story of frustration. But how that story ends is up to you. Fix Local helps you report local issues, escalate them, or as a last resort, fix them yourself, safely and legally. It empowers you with tools to work with or hold local government to account so you can build the neighborhood you deserve. Visit fixlocal.org.za to take up issues in your area. 702 supports Fix Local. Let's walk the talk and fix local together.
When it comes to protecting your workforce, trust the workwear brand that has been protecting workers for over 150 years, Sweetall. Sweetall has overalls and uniform solutions for every industry, so your team is safe, comfortable, and ready to tackle any challenge. Visit our new Boksburg showroom, shop A1 Atlas Road, Westwood, Boksburg, or go to sweetor.com today. Sweetor, we never let you down. Superior protective workwear since 1871.
702
702. What's gone viral?
with Kabazela.
Time now for the world of viral content. Kabazela.
Good morning to you, Belle.
You are patient this week, and so here we go. Do it with me one more time. Always good on a
Friday. Yeehaw.
Talking about things good, what's your idea of a good life?
Yeah, I mean, this was a question that was on Mel Robbins' podcast, and she had the judge Frank Caprio, who passed away yesterday at the age of 88. He was known as the nicest judge or the kindest judge in the world, and we've played one or two of his clips in the past on What's Gone Viral, and he would show compassion and find out the perpetrator's story who appeared in his courtroom. And this was in Rhode Island, and he had a reality TV show called Court in Providence. So he didn't deal with serious, hardened criminals. He dealt with everyday people who may have, transgressed the law. So he was known as the nicest judge, and he passed away due to pancreatic cancer. And he, before obviously all this, terrible, sad news, he appeared on this podcast, and she asked him, what is a good life? And this was his answer.
A good life is, good life is being a good family man, good family person, and having good friends. That's all there is to life. Everyone who thinks that they're better than someone else or because of their wealth, that they have special privileges, no, we're all in the same boat here together.
So he got quite teary answering that question. And it's a simple question, but I think a complex answer for some. And I mean, his answers there, I think, are pretty much in line with mine. I mean, if you think about maybe you're lying on your deathbed at the end of the day and you look back on your life, what are the things that really matter? I mean, it's great to have a wonderful career and achieve stuff in your career. But that comes with headaches as well, stress, and various other things. But, I think at the end of the day, family and friends and the people who surround you just make life a heck of a lot better. So, simple question, what is a good life for you?
What is a good life for you is what Kabazela wants to know. What's your description? What's your answer? I'd love to know, because it's more than the money you earn and the place you live, right? I think a good life is made up of the love of the people you care most about, giving as much as you give them.
EWN Traffic.
This EWN Traffic is brought to you by the new Opel Grandland. With smart tech and striking design, it's German engineering on a grand scale. Test drive one today at your nearest Opel dealer. Amo?
Well, we've got heavy traffic volumes on the R21 North. So this is between the OR Tambo interchange and Atlas Road. There's also queuing traffic in the southerly direction of this route, and that's due to that major accident scene as well. Heading towards the city of Tshwane, another accident in Midrand on the N1 North. It's right near Olifants Fontaine Road. Delays from the Baklu interchange. More updates coming up.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Great entrance? Forget that. Make a grand entrance.
Grand!
Be late. Make everyone wait. And be grateful they did. Peeps be rubbernecking, staring gormlessly like deer in your 50,000 intelligent LED headlights.
Grand!
Make a grand entrance in the new Opel Grandland. Designed and made in Germany. Achtung, baby.
Grand!
It's even got massage seats.
Obergrand!
Visit opel.co.za for more.
702
702.
Feedback with Baphelile Sambo.
Can I say that's the ad I was talking about yesterday? The
Yeah, the
Grandland.
Grand.
This one. Yes. Yesterday we played another one. KG found another one. So I looked like a something. But anyway, Baphelile Sambo.
Good morning, Bongani.
What's a good life for you?
Money. Being able to afford whatever I want, whenever I want, that is a good life for me. Money, money, money.
Love.
Like.
Love's a food.
You know what? Nah, love for who? For what?
Wow. The young ones. All right, what other feedback do you have?
Bongani, this morning we asked the question, what do you insist on doing the old school way? 702 lenders still prefer hand washing over using machines.
Hi. That's never true.
Why?
In my experience, sample of one, most people who prefer their clothes to be hand washed must be hand washed by their domestic worker, not themselves. There are people who are like, oh no, machine,
messes up clothes. Yes,
they never get on their knees.
They are not the ones doing it.
Yes, with the Sunlight bar soap.
Well, also others are saying, asking real people for direction instead of relying on Jessica, GPS. They want like the actual person to tell them left, right,
People
straight.
like getting lost.
And lastly, the reading of physical books rather than digital ones.
Yeah, because I need people to know what books I've got. When you come to my house, you may see them all there on the bookshelf.
To display.
Yes.
Yeah. And our big interview, many 702 lenders are asking, what about other illegal settlements popping up across South Africa? What's being done to address them?
Look, in fairness, Tshwane said they've got 17 others they are targeting. But the truth is, these things are allowed to grow. And by the time it seems to me the authorities act, it's usually too late. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, have you seen the one near Eskom on is it Witkoppen?
Megawatt Park.
Yeah, by Megawatt Park. It's there in Sunninghill. And then also on Main Road, right? Witkoppen and Main Road. How are you going to get rid of it now?
Oh. And remember, Bongani, yesterday we spoke to Deborah Kass, founder of and chairperson of the Public Interest Essay about the anniversary of Babita Deokaran.
Yes.
This Saturday marks exactly 4 years since she was murdered. And the Public Interest Essay has announced the nomination for Whistleblowers Awards. So now these Whistleblowers Awards, they are calling on all whistleblowers or everybody who points out wrongdoings to be nominated on this. And the gala dinner will be taking place on Saturday.
All right, so where do they nominate
So
people?
the nominations are open to the public, and categories they include your investigative journalists. If anything in the workplace you've seen, whatever wrongdoing that you've seen, you are allowed, and you can nominate the people. And the gala dinner will take place on the 27th, of October in Johannesburg.
Where do people go and nominate?
The people can go to the public. It's the Public Interest Essay website. That's where they can find all the information there.
Oh, all right. We spoke to Deborah Kass yesterday. And I suppose we're not seeing this yo-yo, hey?
No. It's here. So if you are on our YouTube, I did bring my yo-yo. I also brought the wooden flute. So what's going to happen now?
Doesn't that look like a kiddie's flute?
It is, because my actual flute is in Soshanguve.
You still haven't played the yo-yo.
So I'm just going to do a quick... do you allow me, KG?
News. No, I'm going to go to news. Get out of jail card. It's a minute after 8.
This is EWN.
Controversial cop Mzansi Khumalo fights for his job, and my man says the money for the national dialogue has been revised. Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Crime intelligence boss Mzansi Khumalo will this morning make submissions before the Pretoria Regional Court in a bid to return to work. Khumalo was arrested alongside 6 other senior officials last month for alleged corruption and fraud. The case is related to the appointment of 30-year-old Dineo Mukwele to an executive position at Crime Intelligence last year, despite her having no policing capabilities, knowledge or skills. Oren Singh reports.
Crime Intelligence head Mzansi Khumalo and 3 of his 6 co-accused implicated in a fraud and corruption scandal will make submissions to the Pretoria Regional Court this morning to have their bail conditions amended. Khumalo and 5 senior crime intelligence members stand accused of colluding in appointing 30-year-old Dineo Mukwele last year as a brigadier for a highly specialized division within crime intelligence responsible for national covert operations, despite her not having any previous policing skills or qualifications. Khumalo, Mukwele, as well as Precious Madondo, head of the Analysis Center at Crime Intelligence, and Josias Lekalakala, Gauteng Crime Intelligence head want their bail conditions amended so they can return back to work. However, the state intends to strongly oppose this request, as many of the witnesses set to testify in the case are crime intelligence employees. Arun Singh, Eyewitness News.
Meanwhile, Parliament's ad hoc committee probing allegations of interference and corruption in the police will meet again today following delays in adopting its terms of reference. The committee agreed on Monday to adopt the final draft by the end of this week after members finally agreed on the submissions and additions from the different parties represented in the committee. National Assembly Speaker Thoko Didiza has also come out in defence of Parliament's legal advisers assigned to that committee following attacks from MPs who questioned their competence to lead the process. Babalo Ndenze reports.
The adoption of the terms of reference have taken longer than expected after MPs made several recommendations and changes to the draft version. The amendments include the scope of the investigation, the protection of whistleblowers, as well as legal representation for witnesses who must appear. Parties also called for an external legal counsel to lead the evidence and not Parliament. But Parliament spokesperson Moloto Mothapo says Speaker Thoko Didiza has full confidence in the legal team.
And their professionalism, competence and integrity have stood the test of constitutional legal scrutiny for many years. While members may not always agree with their opinions, disagreements should never translate into personal attacks on their dignity or credibility.
With the Judicial Commission of Inquiry set to start its work on the 1st of September, the ad hoc committee is expected to begin its own investigation in due course. Babalo Ndenze, Eyewitness News.
It's emerged that the cost for the national dialogue has been cut to 485 million rand. Build One South Africa leader Mmusi Maimane says Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana confirmed the revised figure in a written response to him. There were concerns 2 months ago when the dialogue's preparation task team disclosed that the initiative would cost more than 700 million rand. During a media briefing yesterday, Maimane shared email exchanges he had with the minister detailing the dialogue's revised budget. Alfara Mushwana has more.
While the establishment of a national dialogue was welcomed by many, concerns mounted over the revelation that it would cost more than 700 million rand. Addressing the first national convention last week, President Cyril Ramaphosa assured South Africans that the cost would be significantly reduced.
We can have this dialogue much cheaper.
However, Build One South Africa leader Mmusi Maimane has revealed that the finance minister has confirmed the revised budget to him directly.
Minister Enoch Godongwana yesterday wrote to me extensively about what the national dialogue would effectively cost. He commits South Africa will spend an estimated 485 million rand on the national dialogue.
Eyewitness News has reached out to National Treasury to verify the minister's email to Maimane, but the inquiry has not yet received a response. Alfa Ramshwana, Eyewitness News, Johannesburg.
And 7 people have died and 9 are missing after a rope broke at a bridge under construction in northwest China. The People's Daily says 15 workers and a project manager were at the site when the rope snapped this morning. Industrial accidents are fairly common in China due to vague regulations and lax safety standards. Gold is trading at $3,333.62 an ounce. The rand is at 17.71 to the dollar, 23.76 to the pound, 20.56 to the euro. Brent crude oil is at $67.54 a barrel.
And in the traffic, we've got delays in Midrand along the N1 North approaching Fontaine Road due to an accident. Delays coming out of the Baklu interchange. There's also bumper-to-bumper traffic along the M1 South between Marlborough Drive and Corlett Drive.
And in your sport, Adam Zampa dismisses Tony Dzozi as the Proteas struggle past 100 runs in their second ODI against Australia. The Springbok women begin their World Cup campaign Sunday, while the men are in action Saturday against the Wallabies. MTN8's second leg semi-finals awaits us, and Chelsea against West Ham start the Premier League weekend this evening.
A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures will peak at highs between 28 and 29 degrees. The top story in EWN this hour. Controversial crime intelligence boss Dumisani Khumalo will this morning make submissions before the Pretoria Regional Court in a bid to return to work.
EWN, in touch, in tune and independent. For the latest, visit ewn.co.za or download the EWN app.
Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Your vote is not just a click. It's a thank you, a nod, a way of saying we see you. Vote for your favorite local business now on primemediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
8 minutes after 8 o'clock, it is a Friday. If you've just joined us, by the way, our shout out today is, what are those old ways of doing things you still insist on, even with available technologies and easier and newer ways to do them? We're talking, of course, about the patent of liquid soap coming into effect today in the 1860s, would you believe it, right? Do you still go to, I don't know, the local cafe shop? You know those garage stores? If you've run out of milk or bread, or do you now use the delivery apps? What is convenient for you? What's made your life easier than it used to be? Mateo?
I think with the smart TV, having a remote on your cell phone, because I'm tired of looking for the remote when it always goes missing. So now I just open the app and start using the remote on my phone, because I'm like, I'll always have my phone in my hand. I don't have to now dig up in between sofas and look for the phone, or the batteries for that matter.
The remote wars and the battery wars, right? When people start having consoles in the house and their console batteries die out, guess which one they steal? The remote battery. Amo?
It's AI for me, especially for homeworks, especially for Afrikaans homeworks. It's very quick on the go. I can say, translate this for me into English, and then it translates, and then I'm able to answer my son's Afrikaans questions quick and on the go.
Look at you.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
I suppose all of that is a description of the good life, and that was what Kabazela wanted to know. What's your idea of the good life? Like, when would you know? Ooh, I said the word like. I hate doing that. Like, when would you know you've got it made? Your definition of the good life, Mateo?
I always say, if I can walk at least 50 to 100 meters to my gate, then I would have made it.
Huh?
So a yard big enough.
Ooh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah.
You want a yard with grounds.
Yeah, I just want to walk to the
we need
corner of the grounds, put my hands behind my back and start thinking, staring into space.
Where are we going to have the birthday picnic? On the ground.
Oh, don't worry, I've got the grounds.
The southern lawns.
And the west wing of my property.
Amo, your definition of the good life?
Being able to see my children, it's very simple for me, and it's always been being able to see my children go back from school. That's all. Hugging them goodbye and hugging them welcome home. That's all.
If I say anything, I think I'll get into trouble. KG, hey?
Bongi, Mohora man. Flores here from the Western Cape. Simple answers to a good life. Live within your means. Have friends that add value to your life, and maintain good health. That's it. Have a good job. Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's a very good definition. Because one of the things many, many people struggle with is actually living within their means. It's one of the simplest things you would take for granted. But part of the financial pressure and strain many of us are buckling under is simply because we're not living within our means.
So it's one of the hardest things to do.
It sounds simple enough, right? But it's not something everybody seems able to do.
Morning, Mongols and Team. Happy Friday. The one thing I still do the old way. I'm in Joburg. When I go home, I never tell anyone. I just so pitch, and I've been warned, I've been told before by family members that this is wrong. I must not do it like that. It's not right. I still do it many years later. I don't believe I need to tell anyone I'm on my way because I just believe that's me. It's exactly like that. But for the voice notes, guys, some of us are always on the road driving. You can't text, so therefore you have to use the voice notes. I prefer voice notes because then it summarizes everything. Typing, you need to also think about English depleting. Happy Friday, guys. Shadi Kempton Park.
Then I've got to stop my music or my podcast or stop listening to Clement and listen to your voice note.
But also, can I just say something? Shadi's voice has gone a bit deeper. Is it me? Or maybe she's got flu. I don't know. It's Shadi Kempton Park.
I think you're gonna need a hug from the kids when you get home. That's all I will say.
Let's talk.
We're listening.
The MMC should focus on Moshate that has taken over land illegally, and they've built beautiful structures on the land just south of Garangua, southwest of Garangua. What are they doing about it? Is it only in Fontaine that they are concerned about?
Oh, Bongani, it is so frustrating listening to these interviews, especially with people who can't even answer simple questions. You know what? We are reminded. We are reminded at the level of leadership that leads this province and this country. We are reminded day in, day out. Wow.
In fairness, I think the MMC, it was really trying to be clever, because the point he wanted to drive home was that this is an illegal settlement, because many of these homes have not been built with the formal approval. And so he kept on trying to give the idea that, yes, it is an informal settlement because it doesn't have the formal approval. But most of us have a certain picture of what an informal settlement is, which is why I described it as such. And I was trying to get clarity, and I said, we'll get to the technicalities. But because it's that classic thing when you go into a conversation with a one idea in mind of what it is you want to say with a particular outcome, you don't then listen to the question because you're so focused on making this particular point. And I don't know if it did him any favors.
Morning 702 and the 702 listeners. Happy Friday. Well, Mr. Bongani Bingwa, I seen your video about the water issue, Chocho. And then I told my wife, you know what? This guy needs to be the Minister of Education. He'll create the discipline in the schools and we'll get the students to learn and be educated instead of messing around. Mr. Bongani, change your fate and become the Minister of Education. It's very simple. Just sign up. Happy Friday, EB. Thank you.
EWN Traffic.
Imagine me coming up with Bella regulations, right? What would I know?
The big interview.
I'll leave it to Sivio Kwahobe. Thank you very much. 16 after 8, this Eyewitness News Traffic brought to you by Outsurance in partnership with 702. Amo?
Well, we still have got that accident on the R21 North Bongani. It's right near Atlas Road, delays from the OR Tambo Airport. There's also queuing traffic on the R21 South coming out of Pomona Road. This is also due to people having a look on the opposite side of the road while heading towards the city of Tshwane via the N1 North. Another accident seen near Fontaine Road, delays from the Baku turn off. And if you're heading towards Melrose, bumper-to-bumper traffic on the M1 South between Marlborough Drive and Corlett Drive, also due to an accident. More updates coming up. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Clever late excuse number 80. You ran out of petrol and had to push your car to a petrol station. Well, fortunately, with the Outsurance Pointsman on the roads, you no longer have to come up with creative excuses for being late. The Outsurance Pointsman, easing traffic congestion, getting you there quickly and safely since 2005. Outsurance really means it when they say you always get something out. In proud partnership with 702. Outsurance is a licensed insurer and FSP.
Show up for the finalist who showed up for you. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko. Vote for your favorite local business now on primediaplus.com.
This is Breakfast with Bongani Bingwa
on 702.
Let's walk the talk.
17 after 8, it's time for the G20 Correspondents Desk on 702, proudly brought to you by RMB and FNB, divisions of First Rand Bank Limited. Of course, as you know, the G20 presidency is in South Africa's hands this year, and the aim is to put a spotlight, I suppose, not just on this country, but indeed the rest of the continent. And there are all kinds of priorities being put on the table: education, sustainable growth. World leaders, change makers are all going to be coming together to have discussions here in South Africa. Now, EWN's Nokhanya Mtambo has been following conversations in the build-up to the big summit later in the year, and is going to keep us up to date every Friday about what is emerging. Nokhanya, always great to see you.
Very good morning to you, Bongani.
Yeah, works if you press
right?
the button.
You think I know this by now.
No, you're fine.
It's one of those.
You're just intimidated because I dressed up like you do today.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah.
I thought something looked different
No,
today.
because you always dress formally and you're this well put together lady. I thought, let me show you. I
something.
can
You
too.
look very snazzy.
I can be a lady too.
In your own house. Now you don't want me to stand you up in your own house.
All right, let's get straight to it.
Yeah.
We've been talking about different 20s, the Y20,
Yes.
the P20. Now there's the C20. Tell me about the C20 firstly. What is that?
Yeah, so the C20 is Civil Society 20, and it's really a grouping of organizations, NGOs as well, about 2,900 of them across the world representing the voices of people. And so they had their meeting today, really tabling the initial policy document.
That they're meeting this week.
Well, they've met already this week.
Oh,
Yes, where they tabled that particular initial policy document, where they really just were getting a sense from citizens, the voices of the citizens, trying to represent those across the world and what it is that they want the governments to hear.
So these are what? Interfaith leaders, as you say, civil society organizations, people representing the voices of the people.
Correct. So there's actually two. There's the C20, which is civil society, and then there's the Interfaith 20, which is completely different. Interfaith would then just be the religious leaders across the world, also really still putting forward just the voices of the people as well.
So I know Johannesburg obviously is going to be taking center stage as far as the G20 is concerned, but they're not the only ones busy making preparations.
No, of course not. So we've had a number of meetings, like I said, even last week across the country, different working streams having different different meetings at different places. And so everybody's got to get prepared for the particular meetings. And I want us, Bongani, to just think of the tale of 3 municipalities if you think about getting ready. Of course, there's all the other municipalities and the cities in between as well. But what comes to mind for you when I say Joburg in terms of what it looks like?
Sure. I'm
One word, Joburg.
potholes.
Tshwane.
Clean.
Cape Town. Cleaner.
Ish.
So the look and the feel of the different cities is obviously very different, but the preparations and the amount of work that they're all having to do is obviously then going to be different because of what they look like at the moment. But what's interesting to see is the fact that throughout all of the cities, the common thing that they all want to focus on is infrastructure and making sure that they're getting that right to make sure that they're prepared. And it all boils down to wanting to leverage out of the G20 the same things, really attracting foreign direct investment, as well as boosting the tourism sectors across all of these cities. And so a lot of that focus then goes into the infrastructure and how they set it up.
Is this what Joburg meant by the G20 routes?
Pretty much, yes. In and around the Joburg routes, they are taking care of your streets, your street lights, the road infrastructure, the road routes themselves. But, behind the scenes, some of the things that you won't see, whether it's Joburg or any of the other cities, is some of the other things that they need to do in terms of making sure that they keep the lights on, because you don't want your guests here and there's no electricity. So they're making sure that the power stations are up to capacity. It's the networks, the robots, your street lights, your telecommunications, all making sure that the bandwidth is up to par, so that when we do have the visitors and even post the G20, that we've got proper infrastructure in place.
Security, no doubt, also top of mind. All right, now the president was in Japan this week. I'd imagine part of his engagements at that trade and investment summit was to push South Africa's agenda for the G20.
Correct. So in all of the international visits that the president has had, of course, he flies the G20 flag quite high. And part of the messaging from South Africa is trying to expand our export markets, of course, particularly after the punitive trade tariffs by the US. And Japan is one of our major investors. They invest about 90 billion rand into our economy. There's more than 290 Japanese companies that have set up shop in South Africa. Because of that partnership, they sustain about 150,000 local jobs as well. And so trying to make sure that that partnership works is a really big part of it. And I think what the president really wanted to get across to the Japanese captains of industry was that they would really appreciated if South Africa brought down the tariffs on the goods into the Japanese markets, particularly because already they had expressed a willingness to, try to cushion the blow for the markets that are already strapped by the US tariffs. Have a listen to the president on what he had to say in Japan.
We call on Japanese counterpart companies to support tariff cooperation to ease market access for African goods. We seek partnership in infrastructure, in energy, in digital development through blended finance. We also seek partnerships in financing skills development, youth innovation, and small business scaling. Africa is not seeking aid, it is seeking partners, and that is why we are here.
All right, that's why they were there indeed. Nokanya Mdambo, appreciate that. Of course, the G20 will be hosted in Africa for the first time. So the issues of solidarity, equality, sustainability are not only going to be pertinent to us, they're going to be indeed permeating through the rest of Africa. So, right, we'll keep bringing you news and insights from the summit. The G20 Correspondents Desk brought to you by RMB and FNB, proud sponsors of this year's G20. It's all guided by the spirit of Ubuntu. RMB and FNB empowering communities committed to a sustainable future, deeply invested in humanity. RMB and FNB are divisions of First Rand Bank Limited, an authorized financial services and credit provider.
702, The World View
with Adam Gilchrist.
All right, Adam Gilchrist, let's start in Europe. This Ukrainian suspect in the bombing of key gas pipelines has been arrested.
Morning, Bongs. Yes, another spy story for you. We know you like a spy story. So here we have undersea skullduggery. And basically, Germany think they've got their man, a Ukrainian man. 3 years ago, 3 Nord Stream pipelines were damaged. They were deliberately sabotaged. Bombs went off, severe damage done. The flow of Russian gas to Germany and the rest of Europe was disrupted. Some would say actually probably rightly so, given what was happening 3 years ago and since. But at the time, Russia blamed the West for the sabotage. The West blamed Russia. Denmark and Sweden closed their investigations last year. Germany continued. And ultimately, they've tracked down this suspect, only known as Serhiy K. They think he was on a yacht in the area at the time, tracked down, though, to an Italian city, to San Clemente on the Adriatic coast. So Italian police have cooperated with the German authorities. And the attack at the time escalated the whole situation, the whole energy situation for Europe. But here's the question. Did Serhiy K act in his own interests, or was he state-sponsored? Was this effectively Ukrainian terrorism? There's no evidence of it, but it's a good question.
I can't imagine anything worse than your next story, a gamer watching a murder live.
This is a sort of movie, isn't it? It's almost, if you know your Rear Window by Hitchcock, it's sort of like that, updated for the 21st century, only audio, not visual. So what we have here is a guy who was playing online, gaming online, as many, many people do, with a woman in Finland. And they'd sort of had got the headsets on and they were busy gaming away. They'd been at it for 10 hours, 1,500 kilometers apart. The 32-year-old woman in Finland was busy on her console. He, the guy in England, heard a window being smashed. He sort of alerted her to it. an intruder then spoke in a foreign language, as we know now, Finnish. The woman started screaming and the gamer lost contact with her. What we now know is that an intruder, a complete stranger, had broken into her house, killed her, and then drove off for about an hour. He then went into a barn out in the Finnish countryside and set it on fire. Witnesses saw him emerge from the barn on flames, and he then died from his injuries in hospital. Murder detectives in Finland have apparently ruled other people out of the killing. But how awful, awful obviously for the woman and her family, but also for the audio witness back in Britain, hearing this all emerge. I wonder if he still games online.
Goodness me, and Finland of all countries. I mean, that's the last place you'd expect something like this to happen. Yeah. And Adam, how old would you like to live?
Yeah, I wonder, would I want to make it to Ethel Caterham's age? She is officially the world's oldest woman, at least the oldest verifiable woman, born 3 years before the sinking of the Titanic, 5 years before the outbreak of the First World War, 8 years before the Russian Revolution. She's the last surviving subject of King Edward VII. She has just celebrated her 116th birthday. So naturally, King Edward VII's great-great-grandson, King Charles III, sent her a happy birthday card. Sometimes people look for longevity and the secrets of long life and so forth. No secret with her. She's not said anything at all about how she's made it to 116, but she was an army officer's wife. She was married to a colonel in the British Army, and you know about army officers' wives, they get things done and they know how to get other people to do it. Apparently, Ethel has spent the day quietly celebrating at her own pace, which I like the sound of.
Gosh, she is still, at the moment anyway, the oldest living person as far as we know. 116. Gosh, I'm not even sure if I'll get to 76. Adam Gilchrist with this morning's Worldview.
EWN Business.
116. Whatever. Just think about that. That takes me to 2092. Yeah, that'll take me to 2092. I don't think so.
Yeah.
2092. What
You'll
will life
be there,
be like?
on the mic.
2092. Oh, wow. How to shut me up. South Africa's biggest food producer, Tiger Brands, announcing a major recall.
Yeah, Tiger Brands has issued a precautionary voluntary recall of its Benny beef and chicken flavored stock cubes.
It's what?
Benny beef and chicken stock cubes.
Benny,
yeah, the product is called Benny.
Ah.
The company says the nutritional labeling regarding their declared sodium content on the products does not accurately reflect the salt content. Consumers can return affected packs with best before labeling of the 31st of July 2027 or earlier for a refund or a coupon.
I know Maggie and Norox.
But there's also Benny.
There's also Benny.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
now,
also on the
now
shelves.
you learn. You see, this is why I won't get to 2092.
The decision to recall the products comes after the company consulted the National Consumer Commission about the cubes that have been on the shelves since 2023. They include the 12, 24, and 48 cube packs. The latest product issue comes as Tiger Brands is already locked in a legal battle over the 2017 listeriosis outbreak that claimed at least 200 lives. The company has assured a consumer that this recall does not include any other products marketed and sold under the Benny brand.
Exara doing well.
The coal miner saw its shares go up by 10%. Coal production was steady over the reporting period at 19.4 million tons, while sales went up by 1% due to stronger domestic and export demand. Profit rose 11.8% to 4.1 billion rand.
Your indicators?
Rand weaker this morning against all major currencies. 17 rand 74 against the US dollar, 20 rand 55 cents against the euro, and 23 rand 76 cents against the British pound. The price of gold at $3,328 an ounce, while platinum is also lower at $1,343. Brent crude now at $67.70 a barrel. Stephen Grotes with the wrap of the week's business later this afternoon.
Time now for your latest Eyewitness News. Up next, we speak to the artistic director of the Market Theatre Foundation. The Father and I returns. In the meantime, Sfiso Zulu, what you got?
Thanks, Bongani. Good morning. Gauteng Education MEC Motshekga is set to provide an update on the online 2026 school admissions applications. This comes as the application period for grades 1 and 8 placements closes next Friday. The department says some of the matters to be addressed by the MEC include the number of applications received and the challenges experienced by parents during this period. Tandoluhle Ngobo reports.
The 2026 online admissions applications for grade 1 and 8 placements opened on the 24th of July 2025 and will close on the 29th of August at midnight. The department stressed that all parents with children going to the 1st and 8th grade next year must apply online in order to be admitted at a Gauteng public school. Department spokesperson Steve Mabona has warned parents to apply within the allocated time frame or risk their children going into the new year unsettled.
Now, this is for MEC to provide an update on the number of applications that would have been received, challenges that are experienced by parents, or information that it might be outstanding.
He says the department will also provide parents with information on the course of action to take moving forward, pending the outcome of their applications. Tandoluhle Ngobo, Eyewitness News.
The city of Tshwane says it cannot afford to bankroll doormat assets as the municipality kickstarts an ambitious 5 billion rand investment drive. Mayor Nasipi Moya and her committee visited Rooiwal Power Station and the neighbouring Pyramid substation yesterday. The city is preparing for next month's investment summit, where it will take some of its assets to the market for buy-in from investors and public-private partnerships. Moya says getting the Rooiwal Power Station up and running after more than a decade out of commission is part of the Metro's turnaround strategy.
This strategy serves as a practical roadmap for growth, investment and jobs. It sets a bold target to grow Tshwane's economy at an average of 3.9% by 2029, to attract between 17 and 26 billion rand in investment to the city, and to create at least 80,000 jobs across both the formal and informal sectors.
She says giving the dilapidated Tshwane showgrounds, the fresh produce market and water infrastructure a facelift is crucial to making the Metro an investment destination.
But one thing we can say to the potential investors, things will never be the same again. Tshwane will be an investment-friendly place.
And Russia has launched more than 500 drones and 40 missiles on Ukraine in one of the heaviest attacks in weeks. Ukrainian officials say one person was killed in a drone and missile strike on the western city of Lviv, while 15 others were reported wounded in an attack on the southwestern parts of the country. The attacks came as US President Donald Trump spearheads diplomatic moves to stop the war. President Volodymyr Zelensky says Ukraine is ready to meet with Russia's Vladimir Putin in neutral Europe. The prospect of direct talks emerged after Trump met Putin in Alaska last week and then hosted Zelensky and European leaders at the White House on Monday. A fine Friday in store for Gauteng. The temperatures are at lows of 11 degrees, peaking at highs between 28 and 29 degrees.
And in the traffic, we've got delays on the R21 North. This is between the OR Tambo Airport and Atlas Road, and that's due to an accident. Please be on the lookout there. And traveling towards Melrose, another accident seen on the M1 South before Collar Drive. Delays from Marlborough Drive.
The top story this hour, Gauteng Education MEC Motshekga is set to provide an update on the online 2026 school admissions applications.
Gauteng's greatest awards of 702 and Yoko. Let's celebrate excellence, one vote at a time. Go to primediaplus.com now to vote for the finalist that makes Gauteng feel like home.
Celebrate the arrival of spring with jazz from all corners at Nyrox Sculpture Park in the Cradle of Humankind, 7 September. It features Kujenga, Tandintuli, Lindisa Kakane and Sia Makuzeni. Nyrox invites you to indulge in nature and art, exploring exhibitions on the rolling lawns and meandering waterways. A perfect occasion for family and friends with curated culinary pleasures and refined bar offerings. Limited tickets are available from nyroxarts.com. Nyrox is a private not-for-profit foundation to benefit the arts. All income is used to maintain the grounds, the artist residency program and artist support.
Hollywood Bet Aziz Shege. Be on the Game is back for the new soccer season. Up for grabs is a share of 4 million rand in prizes, including the Toyota Rumion, Corolla Cross, Hilux 2.4 GD6 DC, and a Starlet Cross. To qualify, bet 10 rand or more on any soccer fixture or fixtures for your chance to score big. Bet now. T's and C's apply. Hollywood Sportsbook is a licensed betting operator. No persons under the age of 18 years are permitted to gamble. Winners know when to stop. South African Responsible Gambling Foundation toll-free counselling line 0800 006 008 or WhatsApp HELP to 076 675 0710.
Choose the best. The new Huawei Pura 80 series. The master of photography. A super sensor with precision zoom. Stay sharp from dawn to dusk with a superior 1-inch ultralighting camera and ultralighting macro telephoto lens. The master of color, enhancing every frame with vibrant color and incredible clarity. Tricky lighting? No problem. Take portraits against the light with every face perfectly illuminated. It's more than a phone. It's a professional studio in your pocket. Go beyond with Huawei Pura 80 series.
The 12th edition of the DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star, is here. Unbeatable vibes. Heritage Weekend at the Kailami Grand Prix Circuit. So that's the 20th and 21st of September. On Saturday, there's Don Toliver, Kwesta, Inkabi Zezwe. Sunday, Lauryn Hill, her 25th anniversary tour. So she's got Wycliffe Jean, YG Marley, and Zion Marley. There's Lyra, of course, Mandi Sityantis, Zoe Mudicha, also performing on the Sunday. Tickets at Ticketmaster. The DSTV Delicious International Food and Music Festival, powered by Lotto Star and proudly supported by 702.
702.
WhatsApp Bongani on 072
702 1702.
Guys, if there's something my mom, she still wants to go shopping, like literally go shopping. She'll need bread, she'll need eggs, like every Thursday and Fridays are her shopping days. Mind you, I work from home and then I have to take her to thingy because Monday to Friday I'm in the side of my gang and then weekends I'm in Joburg. I have to take her to that shopping. And I'm like, can we just like use that green app? Can we use that blue app? Like, can we do this? I don't know. I want to go. And she went to pay paying her account. We have to be on those lines. And I'm like, oh, really? I would never. I'm here for convenience.
Hi, Bongani. For me, it is, refusing to use the car washes that don't use water. They use steam. It somehow feels as if the car has not been properly washed. Yeah, so that's what I just refuse to do. Thank you, Zibuse.
Thank you for that voice note, Zibuse. Listen, I have an 85-year-old mother. At the end of the month, we need to go to the mall to go pay her accounts. I'm like, why do you have a Foshin? You're 85. What are you still buying a Foshin? I don't understand it. I can't tell you what she buys a Foshin. But
you haven't seen a bag. You haven't seen a Foshini bag.
We're going to Foshini to pay for the account. I'm like, you are 85, dude. What are you? I get it. Completely get it.
Winning Bongals. Unlike the Snogo incident the other day, today I would like to agree with Amo. Shadi really does sound different. For the past 2-3 weeks, her voice has been very different. I almost do not even recognize that it's Shadi from Kempton Park. Happy Friday.
EWN Sport.
Maybe Shadi should do the GPS directions, hey? You see, we're full of shade here.
Yes, clearly.
Shadi shade.
Yeah.
All right, how are the Proteas doing down under?
It's a bit
Should we worry?
Listen, Matthew Bretsky is at the crease and he's been doing splendidly. He's sort of anchored this innings and stabilized it.
Yeah.
He's on 87.
Oh, wow.
Alongside Tristan Stubbs, who's there on 42. The Proteas in the 30th over.
That's a good partnership.
176 for the loss of 3 wickets.
Okay.
In the last hour, the only wicket that fell was that of Tony Dzozi. He was gone for 38, caught and bowled by Adam Zampa. Meanwhile, the Springbok women will be starting their Rugby World Cup side Sunday afternoon with a clash against Brazil. Here's prop Babalwa Lacha.
I started playing rugby by chance. I think the more important question is why did I keep playing? Purely and simply because I found myself a home. A home in a sense that my physique was accepted. Nobody told me that I'm too muscular. If anything, my physique was like embraced and celebrated. It was okay that I was strong and I wanted to run through everybody.
Tournament curtain raiser tonight sees host England against the USA. For the Springbok men, they'll be looking to bounce back from last week's loss to the Wallabies when they meet tomorrow afternoon in the Rugby Championship. South Africans have won 7 of their last 8 matches against the Australians in Cape Town. Kickoff is 5:10. Switching to football, the MTN 8 finalists will be decided Saturday afternoon. 3 p.m. Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates meet in the Lucas Moriba Stadium with an all-level 1-1 in their tie from the first leg. Abdeslam Wadu says the Buccaneers are focused on defending that title.
We know that it will not be easy because we don't play at home, but we will try to find resources to pass through. We have a title to defend. We will definitely go with a lot of ambitions to defend our title, and the boys are ready to perform.
After that, the second semi-final sees Stellenbosch 2 goals to the good against Sekhukhune United. The Premier League weekend will begin this evening with the London derby when West Ham and Chelsea meet at 9 p.m. The blockbuster is a Saturday lunchtime as the Etihad hosts Man City against Spurs, and it's the Hungarian MotoGP weekend. The race is Sunday 2 p.m. Anthony Teixeira, Eyewitness News Sport.
The unexamined life is not worth living. Socrates' timeless wisdom reminds us of the power of introspection. At Plus 94 Research, we delve deep into data, uncovering insights that drive meaningful decisions. Our scientific methodologies transform questions into clarity. Don't just operate, understand. Don't just guess, know. Plus 94 Research, the science of decision-making.
My family's struggling with snotty noses and phlegmy coughs.
Oh no! Have you tried ACC?
ACC 600 is a convenient one-a-day effervescent tablet from 14 years of age. Or now also in a no-water-needed, fruity-flavored sherbet-like granules that dissolve in your mouth. Ideal for the on-the-go adult. Ask for ACC 600 effervescent or oral powder at your nearest pharmacy to get rid of the snotties and flemmings. And trust, if it doesn't say ACC, it's not ACC.
A sinkhole on the R21 near Fontaine is being repaired, but this isn't just about restoring the road. Sunral's 154 million rand project is opening the door to new opportunities for the local community, from training and mentorship for SMMEs to jobs for unskilled labor and real experience for young engineers. This project is repairing more than a road, it's building futures. Work starts mid-September 2025. Sunral, building South Africa through better roads.
Dear Journal, day 3049 of trying to be an adult. I still haven't bought a recycling bin, so there's a mountain of cans in my kitchen that could collapse at any moment. Anyway, what's that saying about your home being a reflection of your mental state?
Got evicted from the family home? Get covered at pineapple.co.za. It's like 570 Rand a month, so it's 100% the insurance for you. Underwritten by Old Mutual Alternative Risk Transfer Insurer Limited, a licensed non-life insurer and authorized FSP. Premiums are risk profile dependent.
They opened their doors before sunrise, stayed up late, showed up. Now they've made it to the finals of Gauteng's greatest awards with 702 and Yoko because of you. But they're not done yet. Your vote that could make them Gauteng's greatest. Go to primemediaplus.com now to cast it. Because support isn't just spoken, it's action. And your vote is a standing ovation for the Corner Cafe with the big dreams, the local legend who never gave up, the startup that's changing the game. Gauteng's greatest awards with 702, powered by Yoko. Let Yoko Counter fuel your business to greatness. Go to yoko.com to explore the new point of sale solution, saving hundreds of businesses time and money.
EWN Traffic.
14 minutes before 9 o'clock. Let's wrap up the morning's traffic. Amo?
Well, it's a very busy morning, especially if you're heading towards the airport this morning. There's about a 30-minute hold-up on the R21 North. This is between Barber Road and the OR Tambo interchange, and that's due to an accident. So please be on the lookout there and try to find alternative routes this morning. The N12 is free-flowing. Maybe you can try to use that route. If you're traveling in the southerly direction, the same scene will affect you with delays from Atlas Road. While heading towards the city of Tshwane via the N1 North, delays between Allendale Road and New Road due to an earlier accident. And we still have got that one that happened on the Mike 1 South right near Corlett Drive. Delays coming out of Marlborough Drive. I'll have more updates for you at the top of the hour. Stay tuned.
There's more EWN on air, online, and on the EWN app.
Business Outsurance are experts in business insurance for plumbers, electricians, and other tradesmen. Pumlani.
Switching to Outsurance was one of the best decisions that we've ever made. We needed business cover over 15 million. Outsurance came forth for us. At Kani, we sleep better at night, knowing that we always get something out of Outsurance.
Switch to Business Outsurance, and you could get a massive 20% discount on your business insurance premium. Visit outsurance.co.za. Switch and save today. Licensed insurer and FSP. TCs and information online.
Let's rewind 6 years, when Twitter was still Twitter, not a letter of the alphabet. TikTok was simply the sound your clock made. And Zoom just meant enlarging a picture. So it makes you wonder, what will the next 6 years bring? Hino trucks now come standard with a 6-year drivetrain warranty, covering everything from pistons to gears. So although a lot can change in 6 years, our warranty promise won't. T's and C's apply. Hino, all the way.
FlySafair is back this Bok Friday with another epic sale. To get the hearse going ahead of Saturday's clash against Australia, we're giving you 30% off all domestic flights to and from Cape Town for travel until 30 September 2025. But here's the kicker. Our 30% off sale is only on for 80 minutes, starting from 10 a.m. So don't drop the ball. Wing it to flysafair.co.za and book your seat at 10 a.m. FlySafair, trusted domestic carrier of the Springboks. T's and C's apply.
Coming up
on the Clement Manyatela Show
on 702.
12 minutes to 9, and that's 12 minutes before the Friday edition of the Clement Manyatela Show. And today we get the adult version later on. I can't wait to find out what's on the show.
And you're going to enjoy this one.
Yes. But let's start with the open line.
Okay.
Give me dessert later.
I see what you're doing there.
Start with the vegetables.
Okay, so on the veggies, your starters today on the 702 open line. Did you hear Bantu Halomisa? Yeah, you played the clip actually. Okay.
Yeah,
so yeah, I'll
for me, outside of obviously, I mean, he was having a bad moment clearly, but it was in the context of my conversation with Zibi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And it was in that context that I thought.
Yeah. Have you interviewed him before? I'm sure you have.
I have, yeah.
You know how he is like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I even know him personally.
Yeah, same here. Like he's got a short temper. But when you there are many of us who do this kind of work. We've got short tempers. When you do this kind of work, Bongani, either you learn to take it on the chin or this is not where you belong.
But you know, the interesting thing, I think so many of our politicians have very thin skins. And this is across the board. I can think of the leaders of our two biggest, it used to be the two biggest opposition parties. I don't think John Steenhuisen can take a lot of criticism well. I don't think Julius Malema can take a lot of criticism well, in fairness to the leader of the UDM. So he's yet another example of a politician that struggles to do so. I mean, if you think of the things Jacob Zuma had to hear repeatedly before they burnt down the Parliament building, very few politicians have that kind of thick skin.
Very few.
Even
Cyril Ramaphosa.
Even he bristles at times. Jacob Zuma. He may not respond to you in that moment, right?
Yeah, but he's got the times when it gets to him.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that on the open line. And then at 10 o'clock on our Across the Desk feature, I'm hosting firefighters today. We're going to find out more about their work. These are the heroes, really, who are the first responders when we are facing an emergency like that. At 11 o'clock, for that dessert that Bongani is looking forward to on our relationship and sex feature, it's adult radio. No kids allowed at 11. Today we're going to be talking about sex for men over 50.
Wow.
I told you like this one.
Between 9 and 12. I'll be listening.
Take a ride back to the greatest decades in music.
Because Saturdays on 702 are all about timeless tunes.
At 10 a.m.
Kenny Maestri sets the stage with the greatest hits of the 80s and 90s.
At 2 p.m.
Pushaza Sibia keeps the nostalgia flowing
with more classics you can't help but sing along to.
Then at 6 p.m., Richard Mwamba celebrates the sounds of the continent.
With This Is Africa.
It's more than just music.
It's your Saturday, wrapped up in the sounds you love.
Only on 702. Let's walk the talk.
Are you living with diabetes? Tired of painful fingerstick tests? Introducing a new continuous glucose monitoring system from Abbott Laboratories. The Freestyle Libre 2 system sends glucose readings straight to your compatible smartphone. With minute-by-minute glucose readings, optional glucose alarms, and excellent accuracy, the Freestyle Libre system is here to support you in the management of your diabetes. For more information and where to buy your Freestyle Libre 2 sensor, visit www.freestylelibre.za.com. Now available at your local pharmacy.
Naked people are popular at Braais. They're top of the guest list every time and always rock up with the primo cuts. That's because naked people save cash every month with online car and home insurance, which means less money spent on insurance premiums and more money for lamb chops the size of your face. Go to naked.insure now, get a car insurance quote in 90 seconds and get naked, people. Naked Financial Technology is an authorized FSP.
Light the fire this game day with a winning lineup from Checkers. Like Steakhouse Classic Man-Size Rump for 170 Rand per kilo. Fanta Sprite or Stony Soft Drink 2 liters. Any 2 for 35 Rand. Save 13%. And Monster Energy Drink 500 mils. Any 2 for 29 Rand. Save 24%. Light the fire, South Africa, and let Checkers do the rest. Deals valid until this Sunday. Only at Checkers.
702.
This weekend.
7 minutes to 9 o'clock. As you know, on this show, we are champions of the arts. It could be visual, it could be performance, it could be music, and certainly theatre falls into that bracket. So, it's a Friday. If you're looking for something truly memorable to do this weekend, why not head to the Market Theatre? You can catch Father and I. It's a powerful play that blends personal stories, dance, song, music, exploring complex and heartfelt relationships between South African fathers and their children. You may remember, of course, it had a sold-out run last year, but it's back for a limited time only. It opened yesterday, the 21st of August, and will run until the 31st. So that gives you plenty of time to go and see it. It's absolutely fantastic, of course, directed by Greg Homan, who is also the artistic director of the Market Theatre Foundation and joins us now. Greg, always a pleasure to have you on the show. Happy Friday.
Thank you. And lovely to be with you as always, Bongani.
All right. Father and I returns. You've come back for obviously another go at it following last year's successful run.
Yes, it had a very short run last year. The work was made with our Kwasha Theatre Company, who are a resident entry-level professional company that are with us for a year. So last year's Kwasha group created a work alongside me with Moving into Dance and the Windy Brow Arts Centre. And it had a short run of four performances last year, but it was hugely successful, and we had great responses and very moving responses. I think that people who've seen it are very moved by it. We had someone who left the audience, hadn't spoken to their father for 8 years, and phoned them immediately and set up a lunch for the next day. So it really has a very, very moving and profound, I think, impact on people. So we brought it back partly because it's also going to the Jomba Dance Festival in Durban at the beginning of September. So because it was going to Durban, we thought, well, let's bring it back for 10 performances to the Market Theatre as well.
That's absolutely a win for Johannesburg audiences, I can tell you. All right, let's delve into some of the substance then of the play, exploring the complexities of the father-child relationship in the South African context. Tell me more.
Well, it started as a kind of exploration with the Kwasha Theatre Company of last year. As I said, there are 5 of them. And we explored different things. I was just meeting with them every sort of week just to talk about the possibility of collaborating on a piece with them. And we moved around different topics. We looked at one point at finding love in Johannesburg. But in the end, we found common ground around this idea of what are our relationships to our fathers. And it became very clear that, particularly for the five of them, their relationships to their fathers are quite complex. Many of them live in kind of a sense of hope as to what they wish their relationship with their father is like. In many cases, their fathers are absent or distant to them. So that was the beginnings of its creation. And then around the same time, I had a meeting with Moving Into Dance with Sunny Boy Matau, who's the artistic director of Moving Into Dance. And I mentioned this project, and he said, well, that's interesting because we like that, that's a theme that we're interested in. So we joined forces with Moving Into Dance, and it's grown organically through the stories of those people involved in the collaborative process. So the 10 stories that are told through the piece are the 10 stories of the 5 dancers and the 5 Kwasha theatre company members. It's their personal stories, either told through text or through music or through dance. And because of that, I think it has a really strong, authentic root. It feels very much South African in the sense that these are South African relationships, wired because of his history and because of issues of economy and poverty and access, and all of those kinds of things start to emerge in a very gentle and quite nuanced way, I think.
Listen, I'm getting a very clear sense that there's a bit of a renaissance of theatre in Johannesburg at the moment. You are putting on some fantastic productions, and this is yet another example, I would say. Can you give me, without giving away too much of the rest of them, maybe one of your 10 stories, just to set it up for us so that we understand exactly what we might be in for?
Yeah, so I mean, it's quite a range, but there's the story of I suppose what we're also exploring is not only the stories of a literal father-child relationship, but also the people in our society who are like fathers to us. So one of the stories really explores how an uncle figure has stepped into the role of a father in the absence of a father figure or actual father, and they've become like a father, and that they've kind of really supported a mother to help raise the son, and that sort of then gets passed down, and kind of so we're looking at that. We're also looking at how mothers are also like fathers often, because there's an absence of father figures in homes, that sometimes mothers step into that, sometimes siblings step into that, right? So I think it's not only the literal relationship of a father and their child, but also the relationships that are like fathers, because I think that our society, again, is quite sadly, in the sense, because of our economic state and our context, has kind of forced us to explore those support bases in very different ways. So the stories are quite varied. There's also a lot of hope in the piece, because I think that we didn't want to go out to bash anyone. This is a very hopeful piece where I think the cast ultimately land a message around, these are relationships that we need to do work on and that we need to invest in, and everyone wants these relationships to be better. So how do we get to that place? And I think that's the important, I suppose, national dialogue that this piece explores.
Sounds absolutely marvelous, Greg. Fantastic once again to be talking to you. Another stellar production on at the Market Theatre. And you can buy your tickets at Web Ticket. It's on from last night, and it will run until the 31st of August. Father and I returning to the market.
702 podcasts are on 702.co.za.
Gosh, where did all the time go? That brings us to the end of this edition of 702 Breakfast this Friday. We'll see you bright and early on Monday morning. You have yourselves a fantastic weekend. Until then, my friends, ma zenetol.
This is EWN.
Good morning, I'm Sfiso Zulu. Controversial crime intelligence boss Mzansi Khumalo will this morning make submissions before the Pretoria Regional Court in a bid to return to work. Khumalo was arrested alongside 6 other senior officials last month for alleged corruption and fraud. The case